내 그림자를 가둔한 줄깃빛 어둡기만 내 삶을 뒤집어 놓은 나 어쩌면 아무것도 아닐지 너를 만나기 전엔 그저 보잘것없던 나 에이 보잘것없던 나 그저 내 삶은 다 하루를 대충 때우기에 급급했었잖아 우리의 낮 우리의 밤 그래 우리의 삶 UAREMY like 서로 채팅하는 법 서로의 다 Strawberry sky Cause I get so lost in blueberry eyes I'm running through my dreams to see you in my life Cause I get so lost in blueberry eyes I get so lost in each morning, strawberry sky. Cause I get so lost in your blueberry eyes. I'm running through my dreams.
Zara, can make me co-host, please? Thank you.
Sorry?
Can make me co-host, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Good evening, all. Can you guys please rename yourself? Thank you so much. Hi, Tammy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning. It's evening here in Malaysia.
Yes, morning here, very early.
Wow.
Wanna believe that you don't have a bad bone in your body. But the bruises on your ego make
Like the music going this morning or this evening.
Wanna believe that even when you stone cold, you're sorry. Why you gotta be so out of your mind? I know you're choking on your fears. Already told you I'm right here. I will stay by your side every night. I don't know why you hide from the one can close your eyes. You're the one that's up in lies. You're the one that you love. You know you think that you're the one always confiding. The one you can't be kind to. The one that you love. I know you need the upper hand even when we're fighting.
Then, Farha, shall we begin?
Yes, I think we should. It's time. We started.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Are we all set to go?
And we stop the music so we can hear each other.
Yeah, exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fruits and flowers, and a few cats. How are you? How is everybody today? Can the Zoom master please knock off the stray sounds of everyone, if you don't mind, so that we could get the ball rolling? Just bear with me a minute.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Farooq. Welcome.
Hello. All right, so let's get going now. We have a few. I'm just quickly just muting everybody who shouldn't be speaking so that we can get the ball rolling. Okay. Good morning, Tammy. Good afternoon, Bahrain. Good evening, Sri Lanka and Malaysia. And good night for some people, I guess. But please don't go to sleep yet. There's a lot of learning to be had this evening, this morning, this afternoon. Let me start off. Let me get the ball rolling. I invite our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Marianne Benedict, to please get the ball rolling. Please give us the rules, the house rules, and then we will get it all going. So give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Marianne Benedict. Big round of applause. Ma'am, the screen is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farooq. A very warm welcome to everyone. It's so good to see different people from different countries attending today's meeting tonight. Are you all very, very excited as I am? You can type it at the chat box, or you can click on the reaction button. Yay, I see some reactions. All right. So before we begin our joint meeting tonight between Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club and Bahrain Toastmasters Club, let me walk you all through some house rules as well as the video release consent. So by attending this remote joint event, Breakthrough, part of District 20 and District 102 online event, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. Moving on to our house rules for tonight's meeting. I would urge all our Toastmasters to switch off your smartphone or any sound emitting devices to silent mode. Please avoid eating in front of the webcam that will distract our speakers for tonight. Please dress appropriately, which I can see everyone is so good looking tonight. And your microphones will be muted by the Zoom master. Hence, if you have any questions that you want to ask, we will have a Q&A session at the end of this meeting. So feel free to ask your questions at the end of the meeting. You can also turn on your video to engage or interact with the speaker at the end of the meeting. And your cooperation to strictly observe these house rules is very much appreciated. I guess that's all for the house rules for tonight. Grab your favorite drink, your notepad, and let's enjoy this session. I'm so excited. Hence, I'll pass the stage or the remote to our Toastmasters of the day, Toastmasters Farhas Farouk.
Thank you so much. Let's give a big round of applause to our Sergeant at Arms, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is one Sergeant at Arms. That means business. She's laid the rules down, so please behave. Otherwise, she's going to catch us by our necks and throw us out of the room. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marianne. The rules are loud and clear, and we will abide by your authority and your rules. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next on the agenda, my dear friends, is the address by the respective presidents of the two clubs. I have great pleasure in introducing both of them, and then I'll hand over control to both the presidents. First and foremost, let me be the good gentleman and introduce the lady president in the house first, and that is the Madam President of Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club Malaysia. She is Karnia Lee, current president and a charter member of the club. Her journey in Toastmasters has been quite long, actually, 2.5 years in the making, and it's work in progress, just like all of us Toastmasters. All of our lives are work in progress. She is in the real estate sector. She's a good negotiator. So anybody who wants to buy property, you know who to call. But before that, you'll have to join Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club first. She has joined Toastmasters obviously to improve her communication skills because she needs a lot of that in her job. Next president I would like to introduce is, of course, the president of my home club, Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, and that is DTM Khalid Abdullah. He is the current club growth director of District 20. He is the president, of course, of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters. He's the immediate past president of St. Paul's Toastmasters Club in Bahrain. He's a past president of Babco Toastmasters. I think if there's anybody in the world who can give me a good run for my money in terms of club memberships, it's this gentleman, but he still has 2 more memberships to get before he can beat my membership. And ladies and gentlemen, let me give the floor now to the 2 presidents of the club. And by the way, I must mention one thing about DTM Khalid. He has a motto in life, and that is to lead as a good example, to live a good life as an example for his children. That's very noble of him, and I really salute him for that. DTM Khalid, Toastmaster Kania, the floor is yours for your address. Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, DTM Farhaz Farouk, for such a lovely introduction. Now I'll make it West as well in the agenda, since you already introduced fit president. And now I cannot be, as a gentleman, go ahead with my address without allowing her to speak. So please, fit president Toastmaster Karnia, please, floor is yours.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
You can hear me? Oh, thank you for the lovely introduction, DTM Farouk. And thank you so much, President Khalid as well. Well, good evening, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. A very warm welcome to all of you today for joining us at our collaboration event between Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club and Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. I would like first and foremost to acknowledge some of our district senior officers in District 20 and District 102, namely our District Director, DTM Mengji, our Program Quality Director, DTM Srinivas, our Club Growth Director, DTM Chunming, and our Area Director, DTM Uma, and last but not least, of course, our Division B Director, Kishvin, who will be our speaker tonight as well. So a little bit about Fusion Inspired. Fusion Inspired is a very young club that was chartered on the 19th July 2019 and had once more than about 70 over members. So all this was quite just before the pandemic took place the following year in 2020. And it was a struggle for all of us because we're not used to speaking and running meetings online. And thus our memberships fell a lot drastically because some of our members were also struggling in our careers. But nevertheless, I am actually very grateful to have the opportunity to be part of Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club. And despite all these trying times, we managed to counter a lot of challenges through being very perseverance, a lot of positivity, and continuously lifting one another in the club. So it's been since a year since the pandemic has hit us, and we continuously find creative ways to spice up the meeting with any new energy we can get. But hey, we've got to make use of the advantages and that we have at our fingertips as we can't travel physically now. So we can do it virtually, definitely. So hence tonight's event will be an enormous breakthrough for all of us. So let's sit back and learn how we can escape the maze within us, soar beyond, and then begin to storm. Thank you, and over to you, President Khalid.
Wow. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kenya, for such a lovely address. Breakthrough. We really have in front of my eyes right now a breakthrough. Let me introduce the club that I'm honored to be presiding. But before that, let me acknowledge the dignitaries in the house, this district director, program quality director, club growth director and division director of District 102, and all of the dignitaries as well from District 20 and our own immediate past Region 11 advisor, DTM Ali Shahbaz. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and definitely not good night. Please stay awake until we are done. Same as what the president of FIT just said, the COVID took us by surprise, and Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters as the first Advanced Toastmasters in the Middle East, and if not even in the region 11. We also had those humble beginnings that Fusion Toastmasters are going through. It's very lovely to have a mixture of beginners and members who have been there as well in the Toastmaster for such a long time. We had the same feeling when COVID came to us in Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club last year. And it's just a year from now when we thought that, well, that's it. We cannot continue our physical meetings until we had that breakthrough. If someone from our members thought that one day we would have a joint meeting between Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club and another club in Malaysia, they would call us crazy. This is what we are doing today. But before we go to the breakthrough between the two clubs, let me tell you a small story that I had today as a club growth director early morning. Today we had the first corporate summit in Bahrain and in Kuwait in our district. And I was so enjoying the meeting itself until something happened. We had some Zoom bombers who came into our meeting. And yes, we really enjoyed their naughtiness at times. But deep inside, I was really worried. I was worried that this is happening. And that exact time, that reminded me of the breakthrough. We are going through a breakthrough. And all of the upsets that we have there should not let that break through us. It all starts from within. The leadership that you see in front of my eyes right now, those small boxes in front of us right now. The purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. Now, all of us can see ourselves in those small boxes as a reflection of ourselves. But what I ask you now, let's break through those mirrors and let's look at them as windows of opportunities. And this is why we are here today, jointly meeting with our lovely members from Fusion Toastmaster Club. Thank you so much for being here today. I look forward for an exciting event. And yes, let's do it. Let's break through our minds before we break through this event. And over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, Madam President of both the clubs. Let us, ladies and gentlemen, I think we owe them a big round of applause. So I please invite all of you to join me in acknowledging their presence and their little addresses. Now, I guess it's time we jump straight into action and we got into what we have all come here for. And in order to kick things off, is a gentleman who I have known for the past so many years. He's been my guru. He's been my guru's guru. And he's also been my guru's guru's guru. So much so that I have now started calling the guru of all gurus. He was a trailblazer in District 20. Back then it used to be called District 79. One of the first people from our district, in fact, the first person from our district to get all the way to the finals of the World Championship of Public Speaking, not once, but twice. He then continued his journey realized his ambition of becoming an accredited speaker, which he did very successfully last year. He also reached the pinnacle of Toastmasters, which is DTM in the process. But, you know, he probably didn't need to do that because he was way more than a DTM as far as I was concerned. He's here to talk to us, speak to us, give us some secrets about escaping the maze. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like each and every one of you to please put your hands together and welcome DTM accredited speaker Muhammad Shukri, the guru of all gurus, to tell us about escaping the maze. Over to you, Guru Ji. Hang on, Zoom Master. We need to listen to our Guru. We need to hear him speak.
Oh. Okay, can I be seen and heard?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you see here in the picture? In the first slide, nothing. All right, so now what color do you see? You can
Green.
type or just shout. Okay, good.
Green.
And this is
Yellow.
good.
Yellow. Red.
Red.
Red, very good.
Blue.
Blue. Blue. Anyone except for them, anyway, except for them being in a totally black background, nothing is attractive. Even if I put them together, actually, there's nothing that makes you want to continue looking at this. Isn't it the way we look at our lives separately at different segments and stages of our lives? We see pieces that do not patch together and do not make sense, and that's why we feel lost, not from outside, but more from inside. We feel like we are in a maze. Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests, a very good afternoon to you from Bahrain and a good day or good evening to you from wherever you are. That's how we feel. And in order to escape the maze, we start our lives early on with the career and education. We choose our path, thinking that this road and this route will lead us to where we have planned, and suddenly it takes us somewhere else. Isn't that how a maze works? And sometimes we say, okay, let us see where the others go, and possibly we will reach somewhere because that's a better guarantee. So we follow them, but again, we end up somewhere else. And we see them have reached somewhere and they are waving to us, and I'm saying, hey, I cannot get there. What's going on? If I do my own path or follow others' path, it's the same. It's a dead end. And even when we have a point of reference in the future, so sometimes I want to ask my future self, by looking at the people around me who are already there in the future, depends on what the future is to you. To me, at this point, it's only a few years probably, but maybe when I was too young, it was long years. This is how the future looks to me. So in one of my travels, while I was young, and to India, to great India, I meet up this guy from India, and he has worked in Bahrain, all right, before. And I get to know him and what he does. He said, I'm retired. I said, okay, but you have a vast experience and long life ahead of you. Vast experience in oil and gas in Bahrain and the GCC. That's a good resume, man. And he says, no, Mr. Muhammad, no. At this age and stage, I'm done. When I came back to my home region, home city in India, I discovered, wow, those young Indians are so fast and so savvy and so quick. They outsmart me. I cannot use my experience. They are so fast, you know. I'm outdated. So he was frustrated. Even that person who has made it all, is that how future looks like? I didn't go far. I even looked at my own dad, a highly experienced and avid aviation fueling expert who worked for VP for decades in Bahrain before it became nationalized into BAFCO, and now another one, a new one. He was really experienced, and he was the one man that had it all, the expert. But then I was invited to his retirement, very humble retirement party. And I didn't think it was suitable for my dad, really, given what he has done. Very small gathering, and that's not what dad deserves. But that's it. Is that how it looks like? How am I supposed to look at this when I'm at this age and stage? So I have no idea. I just copy and move through life and do whatever life shows me, or dad, even dad, especially early, before I join college and choose the path of my career, who is there to ask what to do, where to go? And it was dad. In the 80s, he told me, son, electrical engineering, it's the trend. You will get a job easily. It's always, you'll always get a job. Trust me, I'm there, I know, get electrical engineering. So I joined electrical engineering in 1988 in University of Bahrain, not loving the subject at all, not knowing how to go through this, how to get out of this, but I did. So I graduated and I got the job. That was right. I got the job in a power generation utility in Aluminium Bahrain, which is one of the biggest companies in the region. Yay! But I didn't like the job there. That's me, 1993, joining the power station. And of course, you know which one is me, the most handsome one. I don't need to make an arrow. And if I have to, you will know now, right? But this is me joining the company, spending 10 years in 24-hour shifts and not loving a bit of it, but just going through life, don't know where this is taking me. I didn't know the path will lead here, but I have to move on. And then in 2004, I grabbed the opportunity to work in the safety department because it's a promotion to the a higher level, and they get in the safety department. So they teach us the NOSA 5-star system, and it's an outdated system. Why didn't they teach us something I can put in my resume? Something huge that all the companies will want me, like OSAS 18001, famous systems, OSAS 18001, ISO, things like that. What is NOSA? But I had to do it. I'm just following the orders. This is the job. So in the safety department, I also joined the Toastmasters Club, which was founded to help safety people be more communicating and more impactful rather than just giving orders. So I joined the club. And in the first year, I attempted in what was called the World Champion of Public Speaking. Yay, I want to be there. So I joined the club level. And in the same year, I found myself up in Washington as one of the top 10. And it was big news for my company, for me. All right, good. Then I'm back to work. I'm back to work. Then what? Then what? Then what? 2010, after the credit crash, the company is downsizing and it's offering very appealing packages to leave the company, especially for the middle management. And I was the one who grabbed it. I was 40. I woke up in my at 40, leaving the company with nowhere to go, no job, 5 children, 7 souls, nothing ahead of me, dead end. What was all that about? It went in a flash. Who am I? What am I good for? Am I a safety guy, an electrician? Am I a speaker? A Toastmaster? What is this? I mean, What shall I do with all that? All this went down the trash. No use. What to do? What resume shall I show? My resume was like Frankenstein. My resume was a resumes. Anyone who looks in it, he can't figure out what am I good for? What's my center? And you know, we are good at showing that in our resumes and CVs, we had it all. We planned it all. Actually, we didn't. We just play with the paragraphs to show our center competence, but it's not. It was a mess. What am I supposed to do with my life? I don't know. I went to my dad who's aging, and we are witnessing Alzheimer symptoms of him, and I cannot say to him, but Dad, why did you push me to electrical engineering? I hated it from the first time, and I don't want to work in electrical departments or segment. Dad, what were you thinking? Of course, I didn't say that to him. He's too old and he already has Alzheimer. But I can say something to him. I don't know what were you thinking? You know everything, but I don't know. Actually, I'm lost. Can you tell me what is this all about? What shall I do with my life? What a mess, what a maze I am in. Forgive me, but I don't know. I have no clue. Two years on, sitting in the comfort of my home, not reaching out to anyone and nor anyone reaching out to me, the Saudi electricity company, one of the biggest companies in the region, calls me through their main safety consultant. Mohammed, we want you for a 2 years consultation in which you will train our middle management for a big new safety system change, makeover. Thank you, but no thank you. I don't want to work in Saudi Arabia. I don't want to leave home. How can I leave my children? Thank you, but thank you. They call again. Mohammed, we really want you because this program is blah, 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 because of your expertise in Alba, etc. Oh, okay. I'll give you the other 30 names, my colleagues who are as expert as I am, and even more. All right, I'll give you their names and numbers. Please don't call me. Here you are. They called me after 1 month or 2 months. That was 2013. And they started in 2012, 2013, they continued. Mohammed, we really want you and no one else. And there they got my attention and I'm asking, why me? And the answer was, Mohammed, we will do whatever you want. We will create any package that allows you to visit your family monthly basis, you name it. We just want you to take this job. We are changing the system and we need you to speak to our middle management to convince them of the system. Wait. And why me? I told you I have colleagues I can send you. There is Saudi Arabia is full of, and you can get anyone from anywhere in the world. Why me? And the answers came in that order. Well, Mohammed, for one, we know you worked in Alba for this much amount of years. We know you are a graduate of electrical engineering, and we are the Saudi electricity company. And we know you have worked particularly in the power generation for 10 years in aluminum Bahrain. That makes you a power generation expert. Okay, so is my other friends. And we also know that you are a NOSA system accredited auditor, lead auditor. So you know what's the NOSA system, and our company is applying it now and revamping the system in Saudi Arabia electricity company. So that makes you a perfect candidate. Whoa. Okay, all my other 30 colleagues in the company have all that almost everything. And they are accredited for NOSA. Why me? Mohammed, we want you and no one other than you. We know them. They've done their homework. So tell me why you? Because we also know that you are one of the top 10 speakers in 2006 in Toastmasters International. And remember, we want the buy-in from the most critical layer in the company to embrace and adopt and implement the system, which is the middle management. And no one can be better than you. That makes you the one and only candidate. Suddenly, ladies and gentlemen, I had to go to the trash bin and take out all the trash and put them together. Suddenly, those boring papers, useless, pointless rocks became rocks of gold. And they made, all of them made sense suddenly with that call. I was scheduled to start immediately in May. And I did start, but not in May, because I told them I have to take my dad to India. We have to take him to a treatment trip. They said, no problem. We will push it 2 months. Because dad's health was deteriorating. We started seeing symptoms from that strong man who knew it all, the avid aviation fueling expert. Our dad, my own champion, my own hero, is losing it. He started forgetting us, forgetting things, not knowing how to drive back home. The man who gave the signal for the aircrafts to take off because of the fueling accomplishment, now he cannot drive back home. In addition to other symptoms, we said dad is going Alzheimer. So we embraced it, accepted it. And one day, in a very rainy day in Manama, Bahrain, dad wanted to visit his friends, and nearby a mosque, the place of worship, he fell in a pond of rain and mud because he couldn't control his steps. Even he had a stick. He was brought back to home. When he woke up, he said, I want to go to India, to Mumbai. I want to meet my friend Sagar. I said, Dad, Sagar is gone. Sagar is long back. We don't know where he is. Dad, we thought it's hallucination. He said, I want to go. And family insisting, we said, we'll take him to Mumbai, his favorite place. We know he loves Mumbai. So my brother and I took him to Mumbai. And mom said, while you're there, do some regular checkups. For dad, just regular checkups here and there. And doctors were so graceful to come to our hotel, where dad woke up one day and came with us in the restaurant to have breakfast. And he said, we will go to the Kuala Lumpur Museum today. Dad, we are in India. It was so painful. We took him to the doctors and did the checkups. This is Dr. Omar, and this is me, and dad sitting there having no idea why are we there. Dr. Omar tells me, your dad has no Alzheimer. The symptoms your dad is suffering, it's got nothing to do with Alzheimer. It's NPH, neuro pressure hydrocephalus, and it can be cured with one surgery one day, and he's good. We couldn't believe our ears. So we made another call. We have to have someone, a friend to know. So we emailed Sagar, who was in Mangalore. He did the investigation and he said, yes, my cousin, the professor, can do the operation, and it's the report is correct. It's one day job. We fly dad next to the airplane, Spice jet. Of course, he cannot give the signal to plane, but he is taking off with us to Mangalore, where he met Sagar. We thought it was a stupid dream. Sagar, his old colleague, finally he met him. And next day he was ready with go with Dr. Sahil Bantwal, Sagar's cousin, ready to go to the operation with all the love surrounding him in Mangalore. Dad comes out of the operation healed and cured, like the old lion we used to see him, and he's going back to his family. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't just Alzheimer. Dad got cured and he was as healthy as he was before. Ladies and gentlemen, I came to know that all these things were not a coincidence. Do you recall the person who told me in India, I have nothing to do with my life, the young Indians are faster than me? That person is, you are looking at him, he is none other than Sagar Bantwal. Because when we finished all the operation and he was able to save his best friend and colleague, he told me this before we leave Mangalore. Well, Muhammad, I think I can do something that even those young Indians cannot do as good as me. I can be a guide for people who look for very specific critical treatment and doctors here in Mangalore. I did this to my best friend, your dad. I think I can do more. Suddenly Sagar discovers in the mid of where he is, it's not over yet. My dad, he regains his consciousness, regains his health. And I discovered that all this happening in 2013, in few months, it's not a coincidence, because after that, I learned how to connect the dots. It's all about connecting the dots. Connecting the dots cannot happen by looking in the future. And thus, I end with my favorite quote. I cannot find a better quote than this, by Steve Jobs. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust, and in my own words, have faith that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly how I lived the rest of my life until today. I never look forward with anxiety and worry, not worrying where to go. I always look backward and I feel fulfilled and satisfied and reassured, because I'm talking to you today for a reason. I'm alive and so are you. We are all here in this gathering, and that should itself send a signal that everything is connected. It might look ugly when you look separately at each part, but make no mistake, these ugly pieces of color are actually taken from this big and beautiful portrait, from this painting. But if I look at one spot separately, it's ugly. It has no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no point. It's useless, pointless. But if you look at the bigger picture, we are big enough, mature enough to look at our painting, our lives until now, and decide, is it really ugly? Think again, take a back step, and look where you are. So I leave you with these three messages. You are being taken care of. Since you were conceived in your mother's womb until today, look where you are, look how you are, look what have you done until now. Then I was being taken care of until today, maybe different phases, different pictures, different, but it's beautiful when I look at the whole picture. I'm good, I'm fine, and I'm happy. I have faith that whatever comes will be no different than whatever was before. I have full faith. And the second thing, please do not look forward. It creates anxiety. Look back. Yes. You know, contrast to many speakers who will tell you, don't look back. Don't look at all the mistakes. No, there wasn't a mistake. I'll tell you, look back. In fact, look inside the trash bin, please. Dig out, because it's a treasure bin. All you have on it. But you, I hope today that you know that you are only the way you see things. It's only a choice, because we know pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. You can suffer with what you have, or you can be happy with what you have. Go, I'll give you a small tip. Just write down the 100 most achievements, the biggest achievements you've done, small or big, in no order. Go to your CV and look at them differently, okay? Not as a maze, but each part of it can take you somewhere. And finally, who do you want to thank? Who do you want to thank? It's here where I take a small break from you, and I want to thank Dad. Baba, I know I didn't have the opportunity to tell this to you, but I am saying it to you now. Thank you for everything. I mean, man, you're my hero. You knew that. I don't know if you knew or not, but actually, I'm good, Dad. Whatever you did for me out of love, out of whatever your parenthood, you did the right thing. You did the best thing, and I lived my best life as you did, Dad. And Dad left us last year on August 22, 1 week before our international convention, where his son, the safety guy, was announced an accredited speaker. He missed it by a week. I couldn't tell him this, but I'm telling him now with you that the safety guy that I was pushed to become through your initial push has connected the dots, and with the safety presentation, he became the accredited speaker. I thank you, Dad. And as to you knew this all the time, right? You knew it. I didn't know, but now I know. And now I don't care about the future, because I know I'm in safe hands, and I'm in your hands and eyes. So I'll say it in my own words. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. And you, what about you? I'm not worried about you. You shouldn't be worried about you. Not after today. You're in safe hands. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this deserves the full 1 minute of applause. Please join me. Thank you so much. What can I say? I'm both elated, and at the same time, I feel the pain. I feel the pain of not being able to tell people who truly mattered in our lives about what our achievements are and how much of a role they have played in us getting that achievement. Thank you so much, DTM Mohd Shukri. I mean, you proved you're a guru of all gurus. Faith is what we need, that the dots will somehow connect. Thank you so much, dear sir. I'm speechless. Very rarely do I get speechless, but this is one of those rare occasions, and I really thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. Now, let's move on very quickly to the next speaker. This lady, before that, I think I'll say this after I introduce the lady. This lady is also an accredited speaker. She's the president of Tammy Speaks. She's the chief auctioneer. She's the boss, big boss of Tammy Miller Auctions. She's an author, speech coach, past international director, DTM professor, adjunct professor, Penn State University. We are blessed, my dear friends, to have with us and to address us not one but two accredited speakers this evening, this morning, this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome Tammy Miller, who will tell us how she just saw, how to just soar. Tammy Miller, the screen is yours, ma'am. Big round of applause.
You're muted.
There we go. All right. Thank you so much. Mohammed, that is an incredible speech to have to follow. That was just pulled at my heart. And I thought, oh, good. Get everybody with tears in their eyes. Oh, my goodness, including me. I am so sorry for the loss of your father, but what a wonderful legacy he has left in you. So thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning. That was really inspiring, very inspiring. So hello, everyone. I am very excited to be with you here today. It is morning where I am, and isn't that an incredible experience we have to be able to take what is happening around us and use the positive out of it? Can you imagine? We wouldn't have been able to do this before, but now we're forced to do something like this, and look what we have learned through all of this. So my presentation is a little bit different than Mohammed's, and I have to kind of catch my breath a little bit because I was so engrossed in your beautiful story. That was just so lovely, so lovely. So thank you for that. Well, today I'd like to share a little bit about just soaring. How many of you out there, if you can just raise your hand, if you will, how many of you love to travel? Anybody love to travel? Yes, yes, absolutely. And I have to say that one of the things that I miss the most through all of this pandemic, is I can't get on a plane and go places. I love to travel. In fact, a few years ago, I was in beautiful Malaysia, and I had a beautiful time there in Sarawak and with the people there, traveling with Jana Barnhill, past international president of Toastmasters. So all of you this morning, I would like to share just some information about soaring. I find when I put presentations together, sometimes I use acronyms to help with the speaker part of it, as well as the retention part of it. And SOAR is something to talk about as far as our breakthrough is concerned, how we soar through what's happening in our lives. And Mohammed was so poignant with the information that he was giving about going through his life not knowing exactly what was supposed to be happening until he stopped and looked back. And our soaring presentation today is about looking within, looking within. So the first part of this is about the success. And it's interesting that this follows his presentation, because as I was listening to his presentation and he was talking about, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. This isn't what I want to be doing. But we heard the wonderful story about how that all worked together. So I'd like to start by asking you, how do you define success? How do you say, yes, I am successful. Yes, I have made it. Yes, I have. And if we had the time today, we would all have a different definition of success. So maybe in just a couple of seconds here, if you can chat, put in some aspects that you think consider you to be a success. What is success to you? What does that mean to you? How do you know you're successful? Just take a minute, chat them in the chat, and let's have a little conversation here. What does success look like to you? Goals accomplished, happiness, manage time wisely. Yes, look at that. Peace of mind, look at this. All great, great. Fulfilling our passion, doing what you love, financial independence. That's what success is for many of us, right? But if we were to go around the room, there's over 115 people on right now, being with loved ones, freedom of everything, absolutely. Goals achieved. If we were to go around the room and be able to have a long discussion about what success is, many of us would share some of those attributes, but some of us would have different things. Success to me may have been going through business and being successful in what I was doing and being able to pay the bills and feeling like I could travel and go places until my grandbabies came along. How many of you have grandchildren or small children? I can tell you what, they don't weigh a whole lot, but they can be an anchor. And I love, my definition of success has changed because I want to be the best person and the best Grammy to my children. Our success changes. So the first part of our presentation is about how do you define success? And many times we don't even take the opportunity to think about that. Sometimes somebody else is defining our success for us. Muhammad's story had a beautiful ending. Some people go into life, go into careers because their family said this is what you should do. And while Muhammad's connected the dots, for some people, they spend a lifetime really not happy because they allowed somebody else to define what their success should be. They might be in that job or that occupation because somebody told them that's what you should do. You should finish your high school. You should finish this part of your career. You should go to college. You should do this. So I'm going to ask the question, what is your success? I want you to think about what defines your success. Who defines it? One of the things we found with this pandemic is, how many of you have heard the word pivot? Is that a word you hear in Malaysia and Bahrain the way we hear it in the United States? Yes. What do you hear? Everybody says, oh, it's a pandemic. You just have to pivot. Are there words that really just kind of go through you? That word just goes through me. If somebody else says you have to pivot to me one more time, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I started thinking about, why does that bother me? And I started thinking that it's because you get to a certain point in your life, to get to a certain point in your life, to get to a certain point. And then someone says, no matter what you've done, it's not good enough. Now we have this, now you have to change. You have to change because you haven't been able to keep up, or now you have to change what you do. You heard in the introduction about being an auctioneer. Does everybody know what an auctioneer is? Is that common in your country as well? It's very common here. So we talk real fast, right? We talk real fast and we sell things like $5 bid on 10, $10 bid on 15, $15 bid on 20, $25 bid on 30. All right, that's an auctioneer, all right? So as an auctioneer, I help people sell real estate and I help people raise money for their organizations. I do other auctions as well, but those are the two I like. And I do a lot of study and a lot of education, and things were going really well. And suddenly we have the pandemic and everything stops. All of my auctions are canceled. Everything stops. But people are saying, oh, all you have to do is pivot and go online. Now I'm talking with a group of Toastmasters here. What do you think when we love to speak and somebody says, we don't need you to speak anymore, they just need to push the buttons? Oh my gosh, I can't tell you what that did to me. But what happened was I found myself in a depression. And I found myself thinking, why am I so grumpy? I'm not a grumpy person. Why am I so grumpy? And I realized one day it was because that pivot, that I was feeling like I was no longer a success because I wasn't out there working what I've been studying for. I wasn't out there speaking. All of our speaking engagements got canceled. I wasn't out there doing it. So I took it to heart and felt that I was no longer successful. And what finally changed my thinking was exactly what that was. It was the idea that I am still who I am inside. And the success, I was allowing someone else to define my success. So the first part of our presentation is, who defines your success? What does it look like to you? You know, when I went for the accredited speaker the first time, because I actually went through twice, and if you're not aware of what the accredited speaker program is with Toastmasters, it is basically the recognition of being a professional speaker. So you have to go through a series of things, but you have the qualifications and the level of speaking to be a professional speaker. And that's a program through Toastmasters. And when I went through the first time, just share a little story with you. For me personally, and this is my own personal thought, for me personally, before I give any presentation, before I do an auction, a speech, it doesn't matter, I always pray that I can touch at least one heart in the audience. That's just my personal, what I would like to do. And that particular day, I came off the stage and I thought I was doing okay. I thought the presentation went well. I had a lot of friends there. They, oh, that was really good. That was really good. That was really good. And I noticed this woman in the back of the room, and she sat there waiting for me. And it was interesting because she sat there for quite a while. And I noticed her as we were walking through this big, this big room, and my friends were around me and people were around me and saying, oh, all those nice accolades they give you when you come off a stage. And she waited and I said, oh, I'm sorry, were you waiting for me? And she said, yes, I wanted to talk with you for a second. I said, okay. And I went over to her and she said to me, Tammy, you touched my heart. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I had prayed. I had touched her heart. And I always, for me personally, know that just means I got out of somebody else's way because I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Well, what's interesting about this is that was the prayer I had said before I got on that stage. She said that to me, you touched my heart, but I didn't get the accredited speaker that year. And it made me realize that I was looking for validation in the wrong place. I was looking for that confirmation in the wrong place. And I'm going to suggest to you to think about, where's your success come from? Who's defining that for you? And secondly, the second part of this is to look for the opportunities around us. How many of you have had more opportunities, different opportunities than you had before we started through all of this? I know I have. It took a little while. It took a little while for things to settle in and to figure out exactly what was going on. First of all, one of the opportunities is understanding never to take things for granted. Never to take things for granted, for people for granted, travel for granted. I don't take any of that for granted anymore. I embrace it and I say, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for this opportunity that I have. But what opportunities have come out of this for some of you? Have you had the opportunity to maybe change what you do in your workplace? Maybe change what you do in your family situation? It's interesting because some people, I've heard their families, they meet more with their families through Zoom than they ever did before because now they can do that. Well, we didn't have that before. So there are opportunities out there that we sometimes miss because we're thinking about what we've lost. Instead of thinking about what we've lost, think about what we've gained through all of this. And again, what are some of the things, real quick in the chat, what are some of the things that you have gained in going through what we're going through? What have you gained? Maybe a new perspective. What have you gained? Just chat in there real quick. New knowledge, absolutely. Oh, writing my memoirs, right. Peace, I like that. I like that. Slowed us down, hasn't it? It's slowed us down. Some things that we have gained in this, more family time, awareness, all of those things we have gained instead of looking at what we have lost. And again, Khalid asked us at the very beginning to think about this as windows of opportunity. Windows of opportunity. Opportunity to close my office and work from home is a reality. Meeting a lot more people in Toastmasters. That's a great one. I love that one. Embracing all the digital world. Right. There are so many things that we have gained. Instead of thinking that we have lost, what have we gained? And embrace those things. The fact that I am sitting here in my dining room right now, which is where my office is, sitting in my dining room in central Pennsylvania, looking at all of you, talking with all of you, sharing with all of you. It is absolutely an amazing opportunity that we have gained. So looking at our success, looking for the opportunities, there are opportunities in Toastmasters right now. You could be a member of Toastmasters clubs anywhere in the world. That was never something that we could do before. And I know that there are going to be a lot of clubs that are not going to go back to regular meetings. They're going to be meeting on Zoom. They're going to have hybrids where they can meet in the clubs and they can meet online. The president, Richard Peck of Toastmasters, is doing an around the world tour right now from his home, meeting people from around the world. Now, I will tell you, I am a hugger. I like to hug people. I like to see them. I like to touch them. I like to say, I'm so excited to be here. I'm missing that part. I am missing that part. And I can't really give you a hug that I would love to today, but looking for opportunities to meet you, people that I have not met before. And I'm very, very excited about that part of it. So what are those opportunities? What are the opportunities in your family? What are the opportunities in your community? What are the opportunities in your community that you can be involved in things? People working from home now, some people don't work from home. We have kind of a mix in our family. Some people don't work from home, but maybe you can work from home and be part of a meeting that you couldn't before. So looking for those opportunities, very, very important part of it. So we have our S and our O and our A. I love the A and our soaring as we break through. The A is adventures. I'm an adventure person. How many of you, by show of your hand, love to go on an adventure? Any adventure seekers out there? Yes, yes. All right. I see you. Hugs. Oh, thanks you. Thank you very much. Adventure people that are out there. I love to go on adventures. A few years ago, I was looking for some more speech material. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, the whole pandemic is just speech material. All right. Toastmasters, we should be embracing this. I mean, there are so many speeches out there. We are just, oh my gosh, so many speeches out there. For example, many of you can be really good at giving presentations on Zoom, right? Zoom etiquette, Zoom communication. Think about what's going on. We're speakers, that's what we do. Think about how we can take what's happening around us and embrace that and engage that and send that out there to enlighten other people. There's so many things we could talk about. But a few years ago, I was looking for more speech material, all right? More speech material. So what did I do? Well, let's see, I'm afraid of heights and I'm not real thrilled about flying as much as I'd love to. Let's go skydiving, right? That's what you would do. How many of you have ever gone skydiving? Any skydivers in here? A few people? Yes, a few people. How many of you are going, you're out of your mind? Probably a few more people, right? Right. So I thought, okay, I need some more speech material. So I decided to, research it. I found a place a couple of hours from us and went into this tiny little plane with this jump master strapped to my back, 12,000 feet, jumped out of a plane, right? And if you're so inclined, you can go to YouTube later and look up Tammy Miller skydiving and you can see the experience. But it gave me some great experience and more speech material because that became a keynote that I gave for some time and actually used that one for my accredited speaker. But it's interesting, different people's perspectives, because I showed that video to my grandson who is 6 years old. And he was really looking at it. He was really enthralled with what was happening. Grammy Tammy was jumping out of an airplane and he got finished and he was like, he was almost spent. And he's like, Grammy, promise me you will never do that again. From this perspective from a 6-year-old, don't ever do that again. But I love adventures. And I want to encourage all of you to think about what adventures you can do. It's changing your thinking. I love to go on road trips. So I go on what we call nickel trips. You may or may not be familiar with this, but in whatever the coin is in your country, but we take coins. In the United States, we have nickels. You can do quarter trips, whatever coins you have. And basically, I'll travel for about 20 miles, and then I'll take a nickel or a quarter, whatever change I have, and I'll flip it up in the air. And if it's heads, I'm going to turn left at this intersection. And if it's tails, I'm going to turn right at this intersection. And that's how I travel, right? Those are my nickel trips. Because with GPS now, I know it's always going to get me home. So I love just exploring. And I live in a beautiful area in central Pennsylvania. There's a lot of mountains and a lot of beautiful area. And I know your countries are beautiful as well. So I encourage you to take an adventure and do a nickel trip. It's easy. It's a Sunday afternoon. Just go out there and figure out which way you're going to go. And you will find all kinds of new things to look at. And of course, looking for speech material, right? Right? Absolutely. So adventures. Be curious, be open to something to do that. I like some of the chats that are coming in. This person used to do that when he was cycling or she was cycling. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. So looking for new adventures. But what new adventures do is they pass time, they give us something to do. But more than that is they open our world. They open our lives because we'll find something, and the more experiences we have in our lives, the more we can engage with other people. We find things we have in common. And I can tell you without any hesitation, one of the things that I have been blessed in my traveling is a clear understanding that all of us, everyone on this screen here today, all of us around the world have far more in common than we do differences. Far more in common than we do differences. And I can assure you that my experience in Toastmasters, and I've been in Toastmasters over 25 years, I can assure you that that experience in Toastmasters has taught me we have far more in common than we do differences, no matter where we are in the world. But as we have more adventures in our lives, what happens is it actually takes that opportunity for us to expand our world. So look for opportunities through your adventures. I was in a meeting the other day with someone, and I've already shared with you my feeling about the word pivot, that bothers me, and I found out why it bothers me. But I said something to a woman the other day in a luncheon, and she said, I said, well, you know, it's kind of like the new normal. And she went, oh, that phrase, Tammy, new normal drives me crazy. And it's funny, we are students of communication. All of us in here in this session today, we're students of communication. It's funny how certain words or phrases mean something. Perhaps it's our frame of reference, what our experience is, why that bothers us or why that makes us happy. But it was interesting because I said new normal, and she said, if somebody says new normal to me again, she was frustrated, and it was happening with her. But part of those adventures help us to see truly the good side of the new normal that's out there. The last part of our presentation as we soar through our breakthrough is reaching. I have a lot of really good friends. It's one of my biggest blessings in my life is my good friends. And it's amazing to me how when we're really concerned about something, sometimes it's hard for us to reach out and say, I need some help. It's hard to say, I need some help. But what we find is if we are able to take that opportunity to reach out, we find that there are people there that are saying, oh my gosh, I would love to help you. How can I help you? How can I be there for you? And again, going back to Khalid's original presentation point about turning mirrors into windows, it is so true. If I were to mirror myself and look at somebody else, I would be happy to help them. So of course, there are people that are happy to help us. So reaching out, who can you reach out to? Who are the people that will help you? And the most important person, everybody put your hand up like this. Would you put your hand up like this? Put your hand up like this. Kind of fix your hair if you need to, kind of, you know, adjust things since you've been sitting there for a little while. That's right. Check your face. I love our Toastmaster. He is your expressions are so incredible today. Absolutely love them. Okay, everybody put the hand up like this. Repeat after me. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Go ahead. Mirror, mirror on the wall. It's all about me, baby. It's all about me, baby. That's right. It's all about you. Because the most important person that we listen to, is that person that looks back at us in the mirror. And we don't think about that sometimes. We don't realize the value of what's being put in here and how it comes out here and who we listen to. So as we're reaching out to others for that assistance, for that help sometimes, don't be afraid to reach out. But while we're reaching out, don't be afraid to reach down. Reach down and pull others up. When I was going through a lot of the programs in Toastmasters and going through the chairs in some of the offices as district governor, I had this dear friend, and we went into her one day and I said, Mary, you know, do you like people? And she said, yes. And do you like to be engaged with things that are going on? She said, yes. And I said, would you just shake my hand? And she shook my hand and I said, welcome, Madam Area Governor. She didn't shake my hand after that again. But it was reaching out. It was reaching out and reaching down because see, Mary, I knew Mary she had just gone through a really difficult point in her life, and she needed somebody to reach down and help her up, to extend that hand to her and say, Mary, come along on this journey because I believe in you. I know that what you've gone through has been very difficult, but I know who you are. I see your heart. I'm reaching down to help you up. And in the process, we're going to go through this journey together. Absolutely, absolutely. And the final part of the last piece of reaching is to reach up. Now, I happen to be a person of faith, and I'm not putting my faith on anybody else. And I know we are from all over the world and we have all different types of faith. That is not what it's about. But reaching up and saying, there is a bigger reason. There is a bigger power up there. Muhammad's story was a beautiful story to illustrate that, wasn't it? Reaching up, there's a purpose that we all serve here. Some of us know our purpose very, very easily, very, very quickly. We know what that purpose is. For others, it takes us a while to figure out that purpose. And sometimes others can see that in us before we ever see it in ourselves. You know, that reaching out, asking for help, reaching down, come along on the journey, reaching up and saying, thank you, the gratitude part of it. We've all heard how important gratitude is around us. And throughout all of this, somebody said, you know, when I was asking about what you're doing and what the opportunities are, someone said about your memoirs or writing this, and you know, you hear all these people with these commercials talk about, oh, well, we're going through a pandemic, so it's time for us to learn a new language. It's time for us to finish our book. It's time for us to do all these things. I'm giving you permission to say, it's time for me just to breathe, just to breathe. My daughter works full time. So she works full time. She's taking care of a house. She has 2 children. She's trying to figure out through all of this, homeschooling children, it's okay just to breathe. And I think that becomes a really important part of our success. Sometimes our success is just saying, I made it through the next 5 minutes, doggone it. Whatever that means. What is the next step? I don't have to look forward. I just have to look at right now and look around me. So today in our presentation, I used SOAR as an acronym because I really believe not just our breakthrough, but we are going to soar through this, absolutely trying to figure it out. But it's a reminder, think about your success. What is success to you? Who defines it? Are you doing what you want to be doing? And if not, how can you get one step closer, just one step closer to it, and then the next step? The O is to look for opportunities. There are opportunities all around us, before the pandemic, after the pandemic, but we have to sometimes look for those opportunities in ourselves, in our family, in our workplace, in our communities. And don't forget those adventures. It's very important to take the time for your adventures. Those adventures will not only help us to relax and to engage, but it will expand our world out there. Our world can just be our community, or it can be much further out there, like meeting people from around the world on a Toastmasters morning. And the final one in our SOAR is don't forget to reach out. If you need some help, reach out. There are many people out there, many of us who will say, I'll be happy to help you along your journey. Reach out, reach down for others, invite them along, and reach up of gratitude and gratefulness of all that's happening around our world. So today's presentation, I hope, will help us remember how to soar, not just through our pandemic, not just through this day, but into our life as we continue on. And I say bless you to all of you. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you this morning. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause, please, before I say what I have to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What I want to say is I really appreciate the opportunity to have sat down here and listened to you just soar. I was wondering what this soar was all about. Hey, success, opportunity, adventure, reach out. It doesn't get better than that. Thank you so much, Madam Tammy, for this
My pleasure.
brilliant, beautiful, great lesson this morning for you, this evening for me, and this great day for all of us. I particularly liked extending the thing about reach out, also to reach down, pull people up, reach up. Expanding on that was brilliant. Thanks a lot. So I want to give you a personal round of applause, and I urge everybody to please join me.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Truly my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to the next speaker. I've been observing this gentleman ever since he got into the room. He's been on his toes, literally on his toes, because apparently he's going to speak to us about dancing. And he's been practicing his moves from the time he got into the room. This is Kish. He holds a Malaysian record, not for dancing. He's probably going to break that today. But he holds a Malaysian record for having spoken for more than 15 hours. He's the charter president of one of the host clubs of today, Fusion Inspired. He's a current division director. He holds certifications in literally everything under the sun related to training, development, psychology. I need to contact this man to get my head tested. So please give me that appointment. But before that, please tell us, how do we dance with Kish? How do we dance in the storm? Ladies and gentlemen, give it out to Kishvin. Big round of applause. The stage is yours. The screen is yours. Everything's yours.
Thank you very much to DTM Farhas, our Toastmaster of the evening. Fantastic. How are you guys doing out there? Can you hear me loud and clear? Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, I want you to just do a move, like a little move, you know? Like almost like a dance, but not there. Just not, yeah, just nice, just nice. Fantastic. Now, my name is Kish, and it's an honor for me to be here today. Before I move on, I just want to acknowledge my senior district officers who are here with us from District 102. We have our district director, who is none other than DTM Mengzi in the house. Please give her a round of applause. Fantastic. Program Quality Director of District 102. We have DTM Srinivas. If you're there, if you hear your name, I want you guys to move a little bit. And of course, our Club Growth Director of District 102 as well, DTM Chun Ming. Now, all that as well as all the other district leaders, area directors, division directors, presidents, excos, fellow Toastmasters, and guests who are here with us today. Now, thank you very much for coming and being with all of us. And it's indeed a pleasure. How many of you totally enjoyed our first two speakers? Yeah, we had Shukri as well as Tammy. Come on, if you really enjoyed it, can I just see that thumbs up on the chats going up right now? Fantastic. I was totally blown away. I was definitely blown away. Okay, here I am. All right. Cool. Now, before I move on today, this is what I want all of you to do. I just want you to type it into the chat box right now. This question: what is your true purpose in life? Let's take this moment right here, and think, reflect, and see what is your true purpose in life. Now, if you can share that with me right now here at the chat box, it will be fantastic. I want to read a few of this up. Self-awareness and service, helping others, Gwen, bring a change, Suki Hugh, to serve others, build more leaders, achieve the purpose in life. Fantastic. Cracking open the nut and typing this. No. Now, just hang in there with those moments, with that thought. What is your purpose, your true purpose in life? And I want you to just put a pin on that right now. And I know it's called Dance in the Storm, all right? As a little kid, we've always heard dance in the rain, you know, like, you know, you just want to enjoy the rain. But then as a little kid, I really totally enjoyed dancing in the rain, you know. I can't wait to just go out there and just start dancing in the rain and of course get scolded by my parents right after that. So I thought, right, now that we're talking about breakthrough and we're speaking about breakthrough from this perspective, from whatever that we've gone through throughout this year, is a storm, and to many of us, it's a storm that we're facing right now. Some of us, it could be in our business. Some of us, it could be the family. It could be a relationship. It could be us trying to keep a job. And I totally understand because each and every one of us were going through that same thing right now. So if you may allow me, I just want to go through what storm, all right, what dancing in the storm is. So let's have these two words out there, right? Today it's going to be dance and it's going to be storm. And I want to focus on this word storm and what the storm is going on right here. So it's S-T-O-R-M, all right? And as we know that storms, especially if you've really gone through, right, the storms in life, or if you've been in one, right, storms can be rather scary. How many of you have gone through storms in life that really, really freaked you out? And yes, and I'm sure that many of us have gone through that. So storm can be rather scary. Storms that we go through in life, or challenges, I would say, can rather be troublesome. How many of you agree with that too? Right? It's scary, it's troublesome, it can be overwhelming, it's rough, and it can be merciless. All right? And that's what I face personally as an entrepreneur who runs 6 businesses. Well, I'm in every industry that was hit by a storm. I was in the events industry, and events was completely shut off. I'm in the F&B industry. I run a bar and restaurant, and there was the MCO where they were saying that restaurants and bars are not allowed to operate. I'm in every other industry that was shut down, and I faced the biggest storm in my life. And I know there was a point in life where I thought, you know what, there it goes. I have to reboot, restart my life all once again. Now, what's interesting is, for a person like me who started working when I was 12 years old and stopped taking money from my parents when I was 15 and decided I should start something on my own and make my own money, this was definitely a storm that brought my spirits down. And I'm going to be honest with that, right? I know many of us were going through the same things in life. And many of us were trying to pivot in a way, but it wasn't something that I could do. So that's for a story that I'll continue later down the road. But let's stick to this word, the storm, the scary, troublesome, overwhelming, rough, and merciless. All right? And what I did was, during this time where I had to go through these moments in life, I said to myself that, you know what, it's time for me to look at it from a different perspective. For me to change the storm into something that I could truly appreciate, learn from, and eventually dance to the tunes of this storm. Yes, storms are scary. But scary as it may seem, it can be significant. Scary yet significant. A storm that will be able to change not just your lives, but my lives and how I've seen life from a different perspective. Yes, storms can be troublesome, but storms can also be temporary. Right? Storms will be something that will come, and eventually, if you hold on to your storm or your challenges or your limits, eventually these storms will go away. For me, yes, the storm was overwhelming. We had to deal with letting go of some of our workers, colleagues. We had to deal with shutting down operations in certain countries, for example, Singapore. And also toy with the idea of eventually selling off a business, which was the bar. Now, all that could have happened if I or some of us were to give in to this storm. Yes, it was overwhelming, but it was also a window of opportunity that I saw. It was heavy on the shoulders, but it opened up to many other opportunities that I'm going to share with you in just a while. Yes, it was rough. It was rough and tough. Yet, it was also a time that allowed me to reflect once again. And you know how it is sometimes in life where you've gone through these successes, at least you think you have, you've built businesses, you have enjoyed success and the greatness that it brings with it, and you sometimes feel that it's all you. But then you realize that these are times where you start to reflect. So I started reflecting and start to realize that it is not about me and about what I can do or what I was capable of. There was definitely a higher authority that was in charge of everything that was happening. So this was a very personal, a very, how should I say, a reflective moment where I realized that it was just beyond what I could do as a person, but it is about ensuring that there is another being or a higher authority that we're highly dependent on. And that's just a personal opinion on my side, of my personal experience. Yes, the storm can be merciless, but that merciless moment or storm can turn into a miracle. So very quickly, this is something that I saw, that I learned. It was scary, significant, troublesome, but it was definitely something that was temporary. I saw it as an opportunity. It was reflective, and eventually it became a miracle. So that was what the storm brought me. That's what the storm brought into my life, and that is when I decided that, you know what, this storm has to go. This storm is temporary, and it's time for us to dance in the storm. Why would I say dance in the storm? Now, many of us wrote down our purpose in the chat box earlier, all right, where it says your purpose in life. And so that's what I did exactly. I took a piece of paper and I redefined my purpose. Why do I do what I keep doing? Why do you do what you do and keep doing what you do? Right. So many of us have typed that into the chat box, and some of you are probably reflecting and you're thinking, what is your true purpose in life? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I in business? Why do I want to become a speaker? What's my greater purpose? When you see a greater purpose to what you do, and then you realize whatever happens, whatever storm or challenges that we may face, it is something that's so tiny and so micro because you have a bigger purpose in life. I was facing challenges in my business when I realized that doing business goes beyond making profits. It goes beyond about me achieving what I want in life. It goes beyond making money, but it's about being responsible. And that was my reflective moment when I realized that I have families to feed in the company. When I realized that there are individuals, there are people who are dependent on how we run as a company. And then I realized that it's not about me anymore. So it was awesome simply because COVID-19 and this pandemic totally shifted. It was a paradigm shift of what my true purpose was in life. And that could be something that you might want to ask yourself. What is really your true purpose in life? And how has that purpose been redefined? So I want you to write it down today. It's a mind over matter, right? I want you to write it down today. What is actually your true purpose in life? Have you reached that purpose? Are you moving towards that purpose? Do you really have an answer? What if I wasn't speaking to you right now? What if we weren't in an event? this is not a joint Toastmasters meeting anymore? What if it's just you staring into the mirror that Tammy just gave you? And this time, it's not just about you, baby, but what if it's about not just you? What if it was about people out there, people around you? Look into that same mirror that Tammy gave you and ask yourself today, what is your true purpose in life? I want you to write that down. I want you to remind yourself of that purpose tomorrow when you wake up. I want you to remind yourself of that purpose again every single day in front of the mirror for the next 30 days. And so that's what I did. Every single day for the next 30 days, I reminded myself of my true purpose, that it's never about me anymore, but it's about the people around me that worked for me, people that I serve, people that were dependent and dependent on the business. And that gave me a new perspective in life. And it was amazing. And with that, I want to leave you with this question for D, defining your purpose. What is your big why? Why do I do what I do? Why do I say what I say? Why am I still here? Why? What is your big why? And yes, it's a simple question. You know, it's like, I've heard it all the time. But really, when we sit down and when we ask ourselves, do we have the answer? What is your big why? Now, dancing in the storm. D for define your purpose. A is for take action. And that's what I did. I took action. I told myself I have to do whatever it takes, no matter what. Yes, it was challenging. Yes, we were facing the brunt of the storm. All right, it was almost like being beaten up. But action needed to be taken. And I took actions that I had to in my life. And defining your purpose is one thing. And many of us could write it down today. You know, you could just type it out, write down. But what's the action that we're going to take? What are you going to do about it? Say, for example, I'm just going to read it off the chat. Let's see. Yes, everything happened for a reason. Oh, helping others. Hanan Aziz said, I want to help others. Now the question is this. Great purpose, define, I want to help others. How are you going to do it? What are you going to do about it? What will you do to help others? Taking action is the game changer. Taking action of whatever our purpose is, whatever our goals are, whatever our dreams are, will definitely be that factor that takes your game up to the next level. And that's where we want to go. We want to go to the next level, especially when we are facing a storm. So do that today. Take action and do it. So I want you to be committed. I want you to be committed. If there's an action that you want to take today, how many people do we have here today? Someone shout out. I can't see the chats, but how many? Do we have 111 people today?
Yes, sir.
Nice. We have 111 people today. I want 111 people or 12 people here today to be the witness of your commitment. So I want you to type it in the chat box, into the chat box right now. That one thing you are going to definitely take action the moment we're done with this meeting or tomorrow. So I want you to do that. I want you to type it into the chat box. If you're brave enough, put it into the chat box and say, this is an action I am going to take, and 112 people who are here today are going to bear witness to what I've just said. Let me see you flood the chat box right now. There you go. Fantastic. Oh no. Yes. Write my speech to prepare for next year. Lead a healthy lifestyle. Charter more clubs. Khalid. You're the man. Write my speech. Fitness challenge. Lose my belly. Oh, fantastic. Have my dinner after this. That's a challenge. That's a storm. I'm sure that's a storm. Become a club officer this election. I'm bringing my kids on a nickel trip in Singapore tomorrow. Find my way to... Fantastic. Look at those dreams. Guys, each and every one of you, I want to be financially free. Make a lot of money, but what's the action? What do you want to do? Like, how are you going to do it? Crease a smile every morning to light up others. Beautiful, beautiful. Build my self-confidence. Cycling 3 times a week. Very, very specific. Great stuff. Finding my way on pursuing barista. Keep enjoying life. Wow, wow. Guys, I want you to really take a look at this. 111, 112 people are here who have read, who bear witness, and you are going to make sure that after this, you are going to take action for everything that you say. So if you've forgotten whatever we've said today, whatever I've said, I want you to do one thing. Is to tell yourself tomorrow in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to take action so that I could dance in the storm. Great. Wow. You guys are awesome. I totally love this engagement. Now, let me just be very honest. I'm a person who loves the stage. Yeah? I don't know how many of you out there feel the struggle that I go through. I love the stage. I'm an MC. I love speaking. And I totally have issues speaking in front of a laptop, and I'm still learning to go past this storm that I'm facing each and every day. But this is the beautiful thing that we've seen. You know, we've seen that no matter what our challenges may seem, even when it's a physical meeting that I've been facing or a physical stage that I want to be on. It's this relation. It's so beautiful to be able to have all of you from different parts of the world, different time zone, different countries, religion, races, experiences, background, being here today. And that's the beautiful thing. Now that we're online, we're able to come together. And that's what I tell myself. That's what I tell myself. That's what I do. That I told myself, you know what, I got to take action. I got to make sure that I keep doing this. And it's something that we want to do for a very long time. So go out there and do it. So what was first? D was for define your purpose. Very good. A was for action. Take action. I hear all of you. Yeah, that's right. But you have to take action now. So dance, D-A-N, is now. Now or never. So I want you to do that. You have to take action right now. And now that you've written down that one thing, you're going to take action immediately. You've typed that on your chat box. You want to take that action right now. So well done. All right. First thing in the morning tomorrow, that's what you're going to do. You're going to write down and you're going to say, hey, you know what? I want to take these actions right now. And for me, those were actions that I took almost immediately, which was to continue to be prepared for whatever challenges that I was facing at that period of time. So do it now, not tomorrow, all right? And moving on very quickly to C. C is challenge your limits, all right? Challenge your limits. Now, a philosopher, a famous philosopher, Socrates, quoted this. He says, a life without challenge is not worth living. Right? I'm going to read that again. A life without challenge is not worth living. All right? It's not, I'm not saying that, you know, if you have no challenges in life, then, you know, you're not living, or, you know, that's not what life should be, you know. No. You know, there are some people who can be in the storm and still they're not impressed by it, you know. You know, they go through storms all the time, challenges all the time since they were young until they grew up, you know. So they were constantly in storms, constantly in battles, constantly in challenges in life that, you know what, the storm doesn't affect them anymore. And these are real people like you and me, people who are around us who probably are facing that as well. So challenging your limits is something that you would want to allow yourself to do purposefully. Allowing yourself to say, hey, you know what, I want to be able to challenge the limits, to challenge the storm that I'm in. And many a times, we would just say, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. This storm is going to pass anyway. You know, at one period of time, I remember when it was MCO, it started about in the month of March in Malaysia. You know, it was the first month, 30 days, and I never knew what were the dynamics of how great this was going to be, how it's going to totally change our lives. And I was thinking, you know what, this storm is going to pass, you know, let it be. I'll just wait for a month or so and everything will be back to normal. How many of you here thought that that was going to happen as well? Right? Can I see your hands? Right? And you thought, you know what, this is going to be done. But then there was a point where I realized it was not the right way for me to face my challenges. It was just me being complacent. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. And, you know, things are going to be normal again. So now that's the problem. That's the danger of thinking, you know what, being in a storm, it's normal. I don't need to do anything. I'll just let it pass. I'll eventually just dance in the rain, have fun. But if you don't step up your game, and if you don't do something about it, take it to the next level, you're eventually going to drown out simply because you won't realize what's happening in your life or at that period of time when you're facing those challenges and the limitations or the storm that you're in. All right? And I immediately got myself out of it, realizing that, you know what, this has to stop. I cannot just let it go and let luck happen in order for things to become normal again. And so that's what happens. It's been a year and we're still in here. If at any time we did not take our game to the next level, well, we could have been faced, right, with a lot more trouble than we were since the beginning of time when all this happened. So challenge your limits. Pain teaches you to moan, and the moan teaches us to live. All right? Challenge your limits because the pain teaches you to moan. Now, challenging your limit is also this. You may know that from the big stand, right, the biggest stand, most conflicting problems you had to face in your life, you have came up with great lessons. How many of you here remember, like, you know, a couple of months, a couple of years back, you were faced with challenges. You were going through problems that you were taught, was a mountain in front of you. But today you're here, right here in front of your screen, you and me, knowing that you have had challenges in your life that you have overcame, that you became a champion, you became a winner, knowing that you have overcome the challenge. Now, if you close your eyes, wherever you are, or even if you don't, start to think and reflect of the challenges that you have overcame, the challenges that you have overcame in your life. I've had mine even when I was young, growing into school, and now that I'm an adult, right? I've had my challenges. What was yours? What were your challenges that you had to go through? It was so enormous back then, but look where it has brought you today. Think about that. And E is for you to enjoy the process, right? Define the purpose, all right? You want to take action. You want to take action now, all right? And then you want to be able to challenge your limits, and here you are, is to enjoy the process. Many a times, you know, there were times where we thought, you know what, this is not going to happen, you know, this is too much for me to bear. I'm going to lose my job. You know, businesses, it's not good. I'm going to lose my source of income. What's going to happen, right? And let me tell you this. If you are going to dance in the storm, you better be enjoying it. All right? You want to enjoy the process. You get to know the moves the moment you stop trying to learn them. All right? Seriously, it's not like it gives up on it's not like you to give up on yourself. All right? And that's what I told myself. So that's the best part about being in the storm. If you're going to be in a storm anyway, you might as well enjoy it. So today I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with dance. D-A-N-C-E. I want you to be able to enjoy that dance. You know, for you, so that you can finally become who you were always meant to be, which was yourself. All right? So a dance is something that you need to actually do. You know, you need to take action. You can't just dance yourself. Dance doesn't practice itself. It lasts while it lasts. You want to let it last, of course. All right. So this is what I want to leave with all of us today. It's a very simple message about facing a storm and not letting it totally overpower you. But how do you see it? Change a perspective, a mind perspective, to change and realize that these challenges and limits that we face is something that we truly need, something that we really need in life to take us and bring us to the next level. It's not about what happens in life, but it's about how you react to it. A life without challenge, a life without hardship, a life without purpose seems pale and pointless. With challenge comes perseverance and gumption. With hardship comes resilience and resolve. And with purpose comes strength and understanding. That's from Terry Fallis, The High Road. So today, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and friends, I want to encourage you to dance the storm, simply because when the storm has passed, there is only growth. And that growth happens after the storm. So might as well enjoy it, might as well embrace it, and eventually that becomes growth in life. And you'll be thinking, what are the growth, or what's the growth that I have faced, that I have personally seen in my life? Is this: you feel good, you feel joy, you feel love, you feel peaceful. You know, earlier you have typed into the chat box, some of you have managed to spend time with your family, some of you had more time to work from home, it's perfect. Well, that's what the storm, dancing in the storm does for me, does for us. You feel good, you get joy, love, and peace. It builds personal strength, character, empowerment, motivation. You feel motivated. You see, that's the best thing about dancing in the storm and overcoming the challenges. It makes you feel good, doesn't it? All right? It makes you like, wow, look at that. I'm a warrior. I've managed to overcome this. Like, wow, I never knew I could do that. Wow, I never knew I could learn the computer and being on Zoom, for example. I never knew I could learn cooking skills that I could eventually use to sell food. Well, these are things that helps us to become a better person, a better version of ourselves. All right, and that's what dancing in the storm does. It gains self-trust, it builds self-confidence and high self-esteem. Right. So today I'm going to leave you with this. All right. If any time at all you're facing your storm, and your storm and your challenges, and it says, you know what, you're not strong enough. All right. You can never do this. All right. You just better give up. And when you're facing those moments in life, I want you to look into that challenge that you're facing right now, or into that limits that you're facing right now, or into that disappointment, that despair that you're faced right now because of what has happened last year and this year. Face and say, you know what? I am the storm. And that's what you're going to do, and you're going to tell yourself that you are the storm today. So I want to leave you with this, and I hope that, somehow it has helped us to see that challenges in life, it's not there to break us, it's not there to destroy us, it's not there to take away, but it's there to give, it's there to build, it's there to make us better, it's there to bring out the best in us. And after today, hopefully we will see that the storm that we are in has actually brought us more benefits instead of destruction. And today, I will leave that with you. If you are ready, what I want you to do is to tell yourself, you know what, after this, I'm going to go out there, take action, and continue to dance in the storm. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kish. I was waiting for that little dance at the end, which you promised.
Oh, we're going to do the dance.
To do that.
Yes, we're going to do the dance. So this is what we're going to do. Everybody, we're going to play the music, and we're going to play some music. And I want you guys to just move in your seat a little bit, okay? So if the Zoom master is ready, it's a bit like a victory dance, but I want you to be able to dance in your seats, knowing that, you know what, you're going to take action And from now on, you're gonna dance in the storm. Everybody, come on, everybody now. Here we go. I want that scream. I can see everybody, everybody, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody here we go from Bahrain to Japan, Malaysia, Malaysia. Great, guys. Thanks for that reminder, Farhas. Over to you, Farhas.
Thank you. Let's give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Kishvin. I mean, that was dancing in the rain. That's dancing in the storm. And what a brilliant way to get. Talking of storm, I can hear thunder outside. Maybe I can implement what I learned right now. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Let me give you a big round of applause. And friends, I ask all of you to join me, please. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Now let's get to the next item on the agenda. And I do apologize. There's a bit of a disturbance here. Okay, let me get to this. Great. I have it now. It's now time for the question and answer session for the panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen. And I know I've been putting this message every now and then in the chat box, and I hope you have sent your questions in to our panel moderator. And if you haven't done so, please feel free. You can direct message the panel moderator. You could direct message me, and I'll make sure I pass it on to the panel moderator. And who is this panel moderator? Well, this gentleman is an educator and an entrepreneur. His research work includes robotics and artificial intelligence. Whoa. I hope he doesn't find out that my intelligence is artificial. Past president of my mother club, Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, he led the largest district in the world back in 2016, which consisted of 7 countries in the Middle East with over 360 clubs. Immediate past Region 11 advisor for the Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming my good friend, mentor, the man who I go to when I have any questions, Toastmasters or non-Toastmasters, DTM, Ali Shahbaz, to lead the panel discussion. Big round of applause.
Thank you very much, our wonderful Master of Ceremonies. Please show me a thumbs up if I'm audible, or just let me know if I'm audible.
Sorry, what did you say? Nah, I'm kidding. We can hear you.
Oh my God. You seriously got me there, and I didn't get your intelligence that time. First of all, let me recognize our wonderful district leaders who have been here in the forum since the beginning, and they have seriously added so much stars to our meeting. We have Didi Menzi here. I'm not sure if District 20 Didi is here, who is Didi Salim, but I definitely see PQD Srinivas. I see PQD Alafia from District 20 as well. I see CGD Chunming and the President and CGD of District 20, Khalid Abdullah, our wonderful presidents, Karnia Lee, Khalid again, our event chair, Ummi Sada, and of course, our wonderful Master of Ceremonies, our 3 amazing speakers. I'll just call them with their second name or first name, or all the names which I like among their whole name: Shukri, Tammy, and Kishvin. You are definitely on your way to inspire the whole world again and again. Round of applause to all 3 of you once again. So we had amazing life experiences, amazing topics today. I was glued to my chair, inspired, and it was getting all heated up. Wow. We started sharp on time, and right now I am filled with all the adrenaline rush in me. I feel like I had 2 Red Bull cans already. So our speakers spoke about career, degree, passion, traveling around the world, adventures, dancing in the storm, and connecting it to real life situations. My questions to them We'll cover so much today as the time permits. I'm just trying to look at the timer here. Yes, okay, good. So we'll take as much as questions possible. My first question would go to Shukri. My friend Shukri, an accredited speaker, of course, a finalist in the World Champion of Public Speaking. He spoke about him being an electrical engineer. He spoke so much about his career, and then he spoke about his passion as well. My question to Shukri is, have you ever mentored somebody who is confused or not sure that his educational background would fit in well with the speech he's going to talk about or deliver to become a world champion of public speaking? Because I experienced that once. A high school diploma graduate came to me and said, Ali, how can I challenge these so-called seniors on the stage? I hardly have life experience. I hardly have the educational background. What will be that one tip you can give my friend Shukri to such seekers in speech contest?
Thank you very much, Ali Shahbaz. And I want to thank you, Ali, for envisioning me being an accredited speaker before there was any hint that I could see clearly. And I mean, this man used to stand up in gatherings in Bahrain and say, our next accredited speaker is sitting in the hall. And everybody's looking, and I'm looking here and there. And it was years before that happened. That's how a visionary is our leader, Ali, and there's much to be said. Ali, that's exactly what many speakers miss when they miss the point. It's really who you are that comes before what you want to say or do, etc. In the words of Seth Godin, the marketing guru, he says the challenge is no longer to have a place to speak. It used to be a big challenge for you to be booked on a screen or a newspaper, etc. Only the elite, the few, and there were so many prerequisites to get there. But now anyone can click that button and go live and speak. So the challenge is no longer to have a space, but to be significant and stand out. And that's where you come to be different. Otherwise, the messages are more or less, the same. They can be rephrased. They are out there, myriads of them in books, self-help books, and anybody can beat you in that, all right? But no one can beat you in being you. And that's why any speaker I coach, even for a contest, I really challenge him or her. Is that really you? Look me in the eyes and tell me, is that really you? Tell me the truth. And otherwise, you can't be as anyone else. So let me end with this word by John Maxwell. He said, people buy into who the leader is before what his vision is. And let me say one thing, it applies to you, Ali, also.
Oh,
back to you.
Thank you, Shukri. My next question goes to Tammy. Our second speaker did speak about opportunities and adventures. Sometimes when I discuss with friends, and all my friends are Toastmasters, 99%. So when I talk to them about adventures and opportunities, I always see they get so scared trying out new stuff, adventures, which they really want to do over the years, but they don't do it for some reason. They're afraid of risk. They're afraid of losing their jobs if they want to take that extra vacation. So how can we convince such people that there is so much to life? What's your thoughts on this, Tammy?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you very much, because I think everybody in this meeting could probably relate to that, because we are afraid to take the steps sometimes. And I think what I would generally tell people is, okay, what is the worst thing that can happen? I start there. What is the worst thing that can happen? And then I try to paint this really bizarre, wild, and crazy story. Well, we know that's not going to happen. So let's just take the first step. And that's what it really is what's the first step in that opportunity, in that adventure. And it goes back to what Muhammad said too. What are you interested in? Why are you interested in trying to go for this. You know, skydiving is great, but I'm not going to do any bungee jumping. That's not what I'm interested in. So think about why you're even thinking about that opportunity. What is it inside of you? What do you think when you visualize having completed whatever that is? When you visualize that, how are you going to feel? And embrace that and engage that. And that sometimes helps us to take that next step. I always tell people that we really have no idea what we're being prepared for. I'm a firm believer in that. We don't know what we're being prepared for. But by taking one step and then the next step and then the next step, we can find that we can achieve so much more than we ever realized. When I talk to people about Toastmasters, I talk about, oh, we have this leadership program, we have this communication program. What I can't show you is the level of confidence that we gain. And that confidence spreads throughout our entire life. So I always try to encourage people, if they're thinking about, oh, I'd like to try that, but I don't know, just try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? The people that love you now are going to love you then. Let's just try it and see what happens on the other side. So just take that step and go from there.
Wow, seriously inspiring, Tammy. The next question for the third speaker, of course, before we shoot in the random questions. Dancing in the storm, our speaker, Kishvin, had this reflective phase in his life. I wanted to know from our third speaker, Kishvin, when you were talking about in your career, there was a phase when you started to think more about employees in your business, in your company. And what about them? What about their family? Where will they work if everything is shut down or during this storm which you were talking about? Have you felt similar when you were a club president and your club would be in some crisis? How did you convince them as a club president that you can hold on? And did you discuss 1, 2, 3, 4 steps with them? Kishvin.
Thanks, Ali, for that question. Now, it's interesting to see how the comparison was made between the businesses that I ran and how the people who worked for me in the team were somewhat very important to me, and that was like almost like a reflective scenario with the Toastmasters Club, which was fusion inspired, and how we had to, in a way, face the challenges that we did. We were doing extremely well as a very new club. We were perhaps only about 2 years, and we did really well in terms of having members come in. We had about 50 to 70 members at one point. That's only a couple of months into chartering the club. And then, of course, this came. This whole COVID, the pandemic, and we had to pivot online. And there it was. I must say, I'll be very honest, and I think the excos are here, the president members are here. I wasn't for it. I'll be honest. My senior officers of the club are here. I wasn't for it. I was totally not for online Toastmasters meetings online. I was always trying to I'll be there, but not really there, because I totally believe in connecting with people. You know, I totally believe in having that face to face, having to see that reaction, that laughter, that face of disgust, maybe. You know, I totally enjoy a human to human connection, and I've been brought up like that since I was 12 years old on stage. Totally enjoyed that. And I must say that the only way that we managed to go past that storm is to realize that, you know what, whatever happens, communication is just that vehicle. The purpose of why we exist has never changed. The purpose of why Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club was created or chartered was to be able to inspire lives, to be able to bring out the best in each other, to bring us to the next level and make us or create the better version of ourselves. And this meeting is an example of that. you know, the organizing team, the vice president of VP of education, the presidents, the excos. This is all strange and alien to them. And look at what they have pulled off. And I'm really, really, really proud of the team. And being able to sit in the comfort of our room or office or the car and reach out to 100 over people and to be able to speak to people from different parts of the world is something that I never saw in the beginning. And now if you ask me, do I enjoy these online meetings and how we have moved from physical to online? Well, I still have my reservations, but the definition of the purpose that we have of why we exist is something that we'll forever embrace. And that was the turning point of remembering and reminding ourselves of that purpose of why we exist, is to be able to reach out, to inspire, to help each other to become better communicators and leaders throughout the world. Thank you. Thanks. Back to you, Ali.
Thank you, Kishvin. Wonderful.
You realize I can't even sit down. You know, I can't even sit down.
I have been watching that closely since the beginning of the meeting, and I just hope the pandemic is over and you can start with the physical meeting. We all, I have been in Toastmasters since almost 18 years now, and I do get that feeling as well. I'm so used to physical meeting. Here comes random questions. Now, there's a good question from Noor for Ahuda. The question is, how to deal with high expectations from others, from others. And this, I surely believe this is a very important one. Sometimes to make others happy, we take that extra step, which might not be even good for us. So who wants to take this question? Just show of hand. Shukri, Tammy, Kishvin, anyone? Tammy wants to go for it? Okay. Yes, Tammy.
Sure, I'll be happy to, because we've talked about that all three of the speakers here, really we have a common thread between all three of us. And what we are talking about is really why are we doing what we're doing, whether we're talking about how our life is related, whether we're talking about how it's interconnected as we're dancing through the storms, whatever we're talking about, we are talking about why we are doing what we're doing. So when people have high expectations of us, first of all, I would have to ask the question of why? Why do they have that expectation? And who are they that they can put their expectations onto us? And I don't mean that negatively, but I think we sometimes are always trying to please someone else without realizing that, wait a minute, at the end of the day, it is that person in the mirror that I have to look at. And if somebody else is assigning those high expectations on me, it might be time for a serious heart-to-heart, whether it's a boss or a parent or a spouse or anyone. Why do you think that this is what I should do, when what's really making me happy may not be that? And isn't it truly that you want my happiness? So we're Toastmasters. We're able to communicate with each other and really have a sit down conversation and say, all right, this is how I feel when I hear you say those things. And maybe it's to stretch us. There's a difference. If it's something to stretch us, then that is another part of the conversation. I want to be stretched. I want to be challenged, but I have to really, at the end of the day, look at that person in the mirror and say, I'm doing it for this purpose and for this value. And I think that's what's really most important in that conversation.
Wonderful.
Ali?
Thank you, Tammy. Wonderful. That's one reason I'm not wearing my full jacket. I knew it's going to get heated up. So you should know your purpose, and that's very important before you get out of track just to make others happy. The next question is from Nancy. What do you do if at every turn some third partner puts obstacles in your path? What do you do if at every turn some third partner puts obstacle in your path? Well, that happens, and it's happening more because we are officially
probably is
pathways.
third party. It's probably third party rather than partners.
Yes, third partner. Okay, once again, what do you do if at every turn some third partner puts obstacles in your path?
Ali.
I'll just give a real quick answer to that.
Nancy, you are muted, but
Yes. It's actually third party.
Third party. Okay. Okay, that's
Yes.
what you meant. It's
Thank
so
you.
once again, I'm just reading it as it comes to me. What do you do if at every turn some third party puts obstacles in your path? Okay, Tammy wants to go for it. Yes.
Just very quickly, because I think that kind of goes back to the last question as well. Why? Why are they doing that? And many times it could be a situation where they're intimidated, where, you know, speakers, people who can speak and communicate can be very strong personalities. So why are they putting that? It doesn't matter who the third party is, why are they putting that obstacle in your path? And then really look at it and say, why is this here and why are you doing this? And what difference does it make to me?
Wonderful. I hope, Nancy, you're much satisfied. You look happy with the answer. Thank you, Tammy. The next question is from Noor Farahuda.
Sorry, Ali, I think Shukri,
I think
want to add on to that.
Okay, yes.
If I may, just a continuation. There is a general question you can ask yourself every time something or someone comes on your way and creates a detour or a disturbance. And that question is, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this trying to tell me or teach me? It, which means, I mean, party or partner. Now, again, I'm a big fan of Seth Godin, and I encourage you read his books. He says, for example, you have a product or something you have brought to the world, okay? And you get people who annoy you with their, you know, disgusting remarks or comments or give you 0 out of 5. These are not the people you are targeting. You let them go. You are not targeting everyone on the planet. You just target who you believe, who, again, back to Tammy, if you believe in what you're doing, even my brother said that, if you believe in what you're doing, you don't care. You just go on and someone will pick up. Or that obstacle might tell you maybe you need to do a twist and learn something from that, but not to give up on your purpose. Back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shukri. It's like one accredited speaker got the pen, the other got the ink, and now the pens are dancing in this room. So we go to the next question, which comes from Nancy again. I'll read this. It's a long one, but please bear with me. What happens if Toastmasters belong to a fraternity like Freemasons? Would that not affect the running of Toastmasters, as there would be favoritism and coronism? Your thoughts on this, please. So who wants to take this? It looks like Kishvin and Shukri have gone on their phone. So
Both of them.
Tammy?
Well, I'll since they kind of went to their phones to maybe a question, I'll take this one. And I think it really doesn't matter what the other organizations are about. You know, we talked earlier about having more in common. So finding that common thread, finding something that we both believe in, I think is where we build that relationship. Start with that relationship there. Obviously, Toastmasters is partnered with Rotary. You know, it's a little bit different than Freemasons, of course, I understand that, but it's still looking at what's the common thread that we can start that relationship with and then build. And building that relationship from that commonality will help all of our organizations and people throughout the world be better people. And I think the more we find out about each other, the more we learn what's really in somebody else's heart, that can make us a better person to then share to the next person. So I think that it doesn't matter what the organizations are, sitting down, having that conversation, finding out what's in common and being able to communicate that message is a really great place to start.
Great, thank you, Tammy. And just to add on to that, Nancy, I've been asked that question many times. When I was an area governor, somebody told me, Ali, it's so and so. I told them, no, it's simply Toastmasters International. They told me, when you become a district director, you will come to know. I became a region advisor, and I'm still looking out for what people say at times. So it's purely Toastmasters International, a good place for communication and leadership. There's another question. What would you say to someone who is a newbie, but one who is advanced in age, as I see that youth is encouraged and not vice versa? Nancy, would you want to read that question to explain it better, since I see some typos?
Sorry, what I meant is I'm a newbie in Toastmasters, but I'm advanced in age. I would see that the clubs seem to encourage youngsters or young people more than they would want to see people like me speak. So I came in with an open heart and with an open mind, but I'm facing many obstacles. Well, just to have your perspective of it or your perception of it. Yes.
Wonderful. Good question. Who wants to take this? Our three panelists. Shukri? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let brother Kish let the older brother answer first. Okay.
Okay. Kish.
All right.
thought
So
so.
I was in Vancouver in 2017, one of the 8 educational speakers, and I delivered the Santara. If anybody remembers the Santara. And when I went down, this old lady from I don't know which place in US, she said, before you speak, I stopped speaking at my club. I ran out of stories. And now after this, I don't know, I have countless stories. You know what, Nancy, when I train older people on speaking, it's much more easier because they have a wealth of experience and so many things that life taught them. Younger people, except Kish, when I train them, they say, what experience? What did I learn in life? I'm just overstating anyway, exaggerating. But actually, each one of us has gone through experiences. And any experience can become a speech, a keynote, a product, a workshop, anything that can help people because it helped you. And that's how you become authentic. That's all.
Thank you, Brother Shukri. Kishwan?
No, I just wanted to say quickly, I think there's an error in that question because Nancy, you're definitely not at an advanced age. Definitely
yes.
not.
Oh, yeah? Then why are we seeing only half of her head?
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
And I do have to answer just a little bit on that question because you are all of us. We are a tapestry, a beautiful, beautiful tapestry woven together. And, you know, it is all about, your whole life is about speech material. So there is so much to talk about. And Nancy, you just go out there and show them that you have all of that experience and you could teach them more than they could possibly understand. So go out and embrace yourself and your life and make it happen.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You have, Nancy, all the three amazing speakers answering that question for you. So how do you feel, Nancy? Can you just say you feel great?
Thank you very much for that encouragement. I would go forth and do my best.
Go, Nancy. Go, Nancy. Go, Nancy.
Go for it, Nancy. I would just add quickly on that. When people ask me that my club is not respecting me, they're treating me like some senior citizen at the back bench. What am I supposed to do? I gave them an idea. I just told them, go to your VP education and say, this year you are going to give them this credit for the DCP. It can be pathways level 1 and 2. And that's it. Your VP education is going to run behind you and you will feel great. So the other question is from Scott. he says, my question is directed to whoever the three speakers wish to take. So the question is, the bridge survived, but the river had changed course. What is your insight into this famous statement? So the bridge survived, the river had changed course. It's a very thought-provoking one. Wow.
Hey, I didn't sign up to answer table topics. Give my friends the question.
Kishvin or Tammy?
So
Anyone?
the bridge has survived. Is that what you said?
The bridge has survived, but the river had changed course.
You know, it's all about changing course, isn't it? You know, sometimes I love the quote that says, all who wander are not lost. That's one of my most favorite quotes because I love finding new experiences and going different places. And, you know, there is a bridge from people to people, but what gets us to that path can be a beautiful experience. And, you know, just as we've talked about in the speeches today, you know, it doesn't really matter whatever that path is. Sometimes that river changes. Sometimes it goes to the right. Sometimes it goes to the left. Sometimes it goes under the bridge. Sometimes it goes around the bridge. Sometimes it goes over the bridge. But whatever that river, wherever that river is leading us, just hang on and go along with the ride.
Wow. Scott, I'm sure you feel great after listening to Tammy now. If our other two speakers, do you want to add something? If not, I'll kindly move with your permission to the next one. There's a question from one of our organizers for Muhammad Shukri. I wanted to be an engineer, but circumstances in the country meant that I had to give up on that dream. I ended up an accountant, but no regrets now. This resonates with your story. Do you think if I did end up an engineer, do you think my situation would have been any different? So from engineer to an accountant, and
all right.
would the situation be different?
Okay. The problem is I hate being myself an engineer, and I hate the accountants anyway. So no, I'm just kidding. It's really not about that. You know, the structure is the same. I really recommend you read the book, the Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by, I forgot her name, the Australian writer. Really, you know, at the end of the day, or life, it really amounts at the 5 things which matter, despite where you work, who you are with, you know, please just go to the 5 regrets, just read, it's 1 page and you'll get to know. It's really about how you live your life and be fulfilled with whatever happens from outside, because the real life is inside. Okay? Whatever happens outside is only the way you perceive it. Anyway, don't have any more comments on that. Engineer or accountant, really, I don't know.
Thank you, Shukri. That question was from our MC, Farhas Farouk, just to let you know, to break that suspense. Since I wait for a few more questions, but we are already we hit the yellow light already. I have a question for Kishvin. Have you taken any challenge in Toastmasters to motivate a leader or a Toastmaster to become a leader or a speaker, and it backfired negatively? You were motivating them a lot. They were not ready for it. They took it as a pressure and they got upset with you. Did that happen to you?
I don't think so that has ever happened. I can't recall that I've tried to probably train a speaker. But perhaps I think it did not backfire simply because I think that as long as we maintain or we are always focused on what our passion is and what our purpose is, it's always something that will be carried forward or something that will be passed down. And I'm referring to the leadership instead of, you know, say training a leader, but it's more of training the next president who who is here today, Karnia, and to take over the leadership. So it's for her to answer if it was a stressful journey, but I believe I've not came across a situation like that. But I always believe that what we can do is always extend grace and always have a lot of patience when it comes to that in order to ensure that that happens. So yeah, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to answer that question, but in terms of leadership, yes.
Great. Thank you, Kishvin. The next question, or probably the last one, whoever wants to take it, do you see a difference with World Championship of Public Speaking or accredited speaker pre-pandemic or right now or post-pandemic? Is it so different being on the stage than virtual or vice versa? Our speakers, Tammy and Shukri, have been there either ways, physical and virtual as well. So what is that one message you would like to give to those who say that I'm not so interested because it's online or I don't feel the same? Should they stop their journey towards World Championship of Public Speaking or being an accredited speaker?
I'll start with that one. No, definitely do not stop. Do not stop. First of all, we may eventually go back to in the big showcase areas, or maybe we won't. I don't know. I think we probably will, but we're still learning. We're learning so much about how to present this way. And there are a lot of educational points all along what we're doing. So absolutely do not stop. Keep going on with your journey. We'll reach out, reach down, reach up, and we'll help you every way we can.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. And may I add, and that
Sure.
is exactly how a recently accredited speaker has received from the team up in the Toastmasters International. Whether I went to the world champion or the accredited speaker, it's very consistent. And in fact, it's increasing the amount and level of support we have from this amazing organization. But having said that, it's really, to me, it's not between online or offline. It's between Toastmasters and non-Toastmasters. You know me, I am a big advocate of using your Toastmasters skills outside Toastmasters and then coming back to Toastmasters and enriching your people out there. But just dwelling inside the organization, don't get me wrong, it's not enough to spread the light that you're getting from inside the room. I mean, my success was because of outside. I saw the benefits of what I'm learning inside. I saw it outside in my life. So I come back to them. I say, hey, you get out of your comfort zone and learn outside. I became a accredited speaker because of safety guy. Okay, so do that. It's really not online and offline. That's a secondary. But it's really your life, receiving the benefits of what you're spending and trading your life with inside Toastmasters.
Thank you, Shukri. Thank you, all the three speakers, Kishvin, Tammy, and Shukri. Not just for myself, but I'm sure you have touched more than 100 lives today, motivated them, and we don't know after the Zoom meeting is over who hits the bricks to achieve their targets. So thank you for what you have done today. Seriously, it was motivating, and thanks for having me as your panel moderator. Since it's already read, over to you, our wonderful MC Farhas Farooq.
Thank you so much. So friends, you know what to do. You know the drill. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And they deserve it. It's just not like Farhas says, so let's clap. They deserve it. Thank you so much. That was one of the most amazing, beneficial panel discussions I have sat through, learned a lot, and I'm sure there's a lot more to learn. Unfortunately, time is not on our side. So thank you so much for doing that. And we look forward to probably bringing this panel together again on a future date. Hint, hint, Ummi. One more project. Thank you so much. Now, friends, it's time for us to start recognizing the people behind the scene. In order to do that, let me start by recognizing one particular individual who has been the live wire behind this entire process, and nobody has spoken about her yet. Bad MC. Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady is an accountant, a fellow accountant, just like me, I'm proud to say. We are members of the same accounting body because, you know, I like to get somebody else's credit as well. We are both members of CIMA UK. This lady has been a Toastmaster for 3 years only. But from what I saw, it's like she's been in here forever, almost forever. The amount of energy, the amount of organization. When we had the first meeting, just to set things up, in like half an hour, there was a whole plan of action sent out to the entire team. I said, whoa, young lady, I'm not that fast. I got gray hair. She took time to complete her first part. She's working on her second one. She's the current Vice President Education of Fusion Inspired, the chairperson of this event. And please join me, every single one of you, even if you have to unmute your videos, unmute, please, let's give her a big thundering round of applause.
Oh.
Only the floor is yours to recognize the others.
Thank you so much. Okay, good evening, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, our most valued invited VIP senior officers in District 20 and District 102, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. As the
Umi, wait. Vote of thanks comes later. This is recognizing the certificates.
Okay.
Otherwise, everybody will run away if you thank them. Zoom Master, can we have your help, please, for the certificates?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Toastmaster Umi, you please do the honors. This is all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I'm sorry for the blurriness. Okay, here we are presenting our appreciation certificate to accredited speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Muhammad Shukri. Thanks for being here, sir.
Photo time, but President, can you turn on the camera, please? Just give me a
It's okay,
moment.
we can go ahead. We can just go ahead. Maybe they're just shy.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, we would like to present a certificate of appreciation to our next speaker, Tammy Miller.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. My honor to be here with you.
Our accredited speaker, distinguished Toastmasters Tammy from Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Truly my honor to be with you.
Okay, and the third speaker, our Charter President of Fusion Inspired and also immediate past President Fusion Inspired, Kish. Thank you so much for giving your speech and dancing in the storm, teach us dancing in the storm. And next, I also would like to recognize all the role players. Without your support, this event will not happen. Can we spotlight everyone?
Just give me a moment.
Okay, I present the certificate for all the role players, Mr. Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. And even event like this cannot happen overnight. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated Toastmasters from Bahrain Advanced and Fusion Inspired. Thanks to all of you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairperson of the event. Doesn't she deserve another round of applause? I think we should give her one. Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Sumi. It has been a pleasure working with you. I must say that, an honor, deep honor. Thank you so much, ma'am. Well done, well done. Now it's time to get some feedback from our guests. And to do this, I have two other live wires of this organizing committee. And those are the two vice presidents, public, I always say vice president education because I'm one. Vice presidents, public relation of the two clubs, DTM Zahra and DTM to be Farhadillah Zannoon. Yes, it's a fact. I'll hand over control to both of you ladies. Please get us some good feedback from the guests. Over to you, my ladies.
Thank you so much, DTM Farhaz, the Master of Ceremony. District officials, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. It's my great pleasure to be with you here tonight. Yes, we really enjoyed the entire session and we would love to hear from you, our special guests, because without you, we will not be able to make it a memorable event. Now, if you can write in the chat box, feel free to write your feedback, give us your feedback. How did you find today's special event? Or if you would love to share your comments verbally, if you want to share it by opening your microphone, please raise your hand up so we can choose from the guests. So 3, 2, 1. So shall I choose? Can we hear from guest number 9? I saw you opening the camera all the time and you were enjoying it. So can you please share with us your feedback about today's event? Guest number 9, can you please unmute him? Can you please unmute yourself if you can? Or else I would like to ask the moderator to unmute guest number 9. So yes, he wrote it in the chat box. Great session, amazing knowledge we got. So may I hear from the other guests? So please, yes, I can see Keen Tang, if I'm pronouncing your name in a correct way. So please unmute yourself and we would love to hear from you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is actually, I just joined Toastmaster for just half a year. But actually, I just attend this Breakthrough Toastmaster meeting actually inspired me a lot. This is actually an incredible session. It actually has created a ripple to my life. Like their speaker talk about connecting the dots, talk about having a nickel trick as well as taking action in our life during this during this storm, and how do we excel from it. It's very inspiring to me and actually inspire me to do something. Yeah, that's all. back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your what you've learned and the knowledge that you got. Moving to the other guest, which is Ramisa. May I hear from you, Ramisa?
Guest number 9 is ready, by the way.
All right then.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. Alaikum salam.
Okay, I'm from Toastmasters Malaysia MWC. It was very wonderful session. Be it be Shukri's experiences, be it be Storm by Tammy, or be it be the Define by the other guest speaker. I really got a lot of insight. Sorry I couldn't turn on my camera, but I was there throughout the 2.5-hour session, and alhamdulillah, I've learned a lot. Congratulations, and it was well organized. I've learned a lot today. Amazing. Congratulations to all the organizers as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now I'd like to give the floor to the other VP PR, Toastmaster Farhadillah.
All right, thank you, Zara. I think our guest 9 is ready to give his feedback. So can I have guest number 9? Can you introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. My name is Anandan, and I'm very proud to say that I'm a very good friend of Mohd Shukri. It's an honor to be here. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I am actually from India, but I'm staying in US at present in New Orleans. So I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, got myself prepared for the joy entertaining sessions. And I tell you, out of my heart, it's the greatest of great sessions of Toastmasters I ever witnessed in my life. I'm a member for the past 4 years, and this is the most wonderful session, and it was worth getting up at 4 o'clock. I humbly request you people to organize such events with so much of takeaway, so much of so much of knowledge we have accumulated. The 3 great speakers have given their best, and I'm really honored, and I'm sure all the people who witnessed today are all God-blessed people. Thank you very much. Beautifully organized, and may God bless you to produce more and more such occasions. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yes, it is an honor to have you on board as well. Now, can we have next? I think UMTC Ken. I saw her raising hand. Is it a her? Kenneth.
Hello.
Yeah, it's he.
Yeah, I'm Kenneth from University Malay Toastmasters Club, and I really enjoyed a lot throughout the workshop, especially how motivated and emotionally attached the speaker is speaking on their topics. Especially the third speaker, I feel that he has created a ripple in my life, and he includes all the emotional elements in his speech, which makes us feel like, oh, we want to achieve something after this. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Kenneth. We appreciate your feedback. So now I think, do we have any more feedback? No more. So
DTM Ali, he's raising hand. Please invite him.
Oh, all right.
Hi, I just want to say something. Maybe not everybody knows. Our PQD, Srinivas, is now part of John Maxwell team. So we go with leadership and we go with John Maxwell team. Wonderful. Just wanted to share this amazing news with everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, I shall now pass the floor to.
There is hand raised. There is a hand raised by there was a gentleman named Kenneth and then Rashid. Two hands raised. We can start with Rashid.
May I speak, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
First of all, I would like to start with DTM Ahmed Shukri. Well, since the day I joined Toastmaster, I know him and I've kept listening him, and he's my inspirational. He's an inspiration to me. He's my role model. He is my mentor also. So those comments are really fine. But I will just come back to those two other speakers. Honestly speaking, after such a long time, you guys kept myself, to keep listening you while you guys were speaking. Even I was doing the multitasking, but still I was able to listen every word, whatever you were saying. It was such an inspiration session. This inspirational session was taken over by such a experienced and credited speakers. And as said that Toastmaster Kishvin, person who liked to dance in storm, is so young, but he knows how to keep the audience. The great thing was that you guys kept involved every single person, and I give the hats off to the organizer actually, who have done so wonderful job to keep the audience motivated and give them that, yes, this is what you need to achieve the purposes of your life. Back to you, madam.
Thank you, Rashid. Do you have any more raised hand? I couldn't see any. Yeah, no more. So back to you, DTM Fahaz.
Thank you so much, dear Vice Presidents, Public Relations. Let's give them a big round of applause. All these beautiful backgrounds and the presentations and whatever we see today is the creation of these two young ladies. So let's give them a big round of applause. If they knew any carpentry, I would send them to Kisha's house to make him a new chair, please. I got to take a dig at you, Kish. Thanks a lot, sir. And now let's just before we get to the before we get to the vote of thanks, I really now have to recognize the presence of our district leaderships of the two respective districts. This is a very good time, and I would like to hear a few words from our respected district leaderships respectively. And I would start with the district director of District 102, DTM. Let me call you, ma'am. I need to make sure I get the names right. Meng Se Lee, I hope I pronounce it correctly. DTM, Meng Se Lee, District Director 102, ma'am. We would love to hear from you. Over to you.
Thank you very much to TMD and every one of you. Today we have a wonderful session, very well organized by the two clubs, Fusion Inspired and Bahrain Toastmasters Club. We're very glad to have all of you here. And of course, very important, I will go to the speakers shortly, is all of you audience. Because when the speakers speak, most important, we see all of you, the audience. So I thank you for all of you for staying through 2 hours, 3 hours of the sessions. So of course, for the speakers, very well delivered. I heard Shukri the second time. The last time was you were in Malaysia for our annual conference 2018. I love to hear from you again, and very wonderful sharing. And also accredited speaker Liam Le, Tammy here. Yeah. Yes, we heard you during the virtual summit, and very nice to hear a very I could hear and inspired from your sharing just now. And of course, our division director, Kish, our founding president of the club. So thank you to our speaker and also to our organizing team, a very hardworking organizing team for putting it together. Now, people first. People are always very important. And for us to continue this communication journey, be it in the virtual mode or physical mode or face-to-face mode or a hybrid mode, it doesn't matter. Most important, we care for people. And how do we connect between people is communication. And that's why for Toastmasters, communication is taken even more importance during these pandemic times, because we are not seeing each other as much. We can't touch, we can't hug, we can only communicate with each other. So it's even more important than ever. And therefore, I'm glad to see all of you, Toastmasters, to stay on board and stay resilient and dancing through the storm, making breakthrough after breakthrough. And all of you being online has been You are making history in every one of your ways. Thank you so much to every one of you. And if any one of you are still a non-Toastmasters, any non-Toastmasters around, okay, no worries, you may be shy, please join Toastmasters Club, right? We have such a wonderful speakers, and you can reach this level, the accredited speakers and speakers to be at a wonderful communication and leaders, because what differentiates between Toastmasters to the rest? There are others who give public speaking, communication, but Toastmasters care for people. We care to develop each and every one of the individuals to become better. We care for you to become better. Doesn't matter if you're better than me or better than us. We want you to be better. So you will be better if you stay connected and stay as a Toastmasters, right? So I wish all of you well. It's morning, afternoon, or evening, doesn't matter. As long as you're on this planet, we are connected to Toastmasters. Stay healthy and stay safe and stay connected as Toastmasters throughout this journey. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much. Let's give our DT a big round of applause. Thanks a lot. There is our PQD from District 102, DTM Srinivas. A quick word from you, please, sir. We just heard some great news from DTM Ali, so maybe you could tell us about that as well. Over to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for distinguished Toastmaster Farhan. Ladies and gentlemen, I read a quote which says breakthrough happens when it challenges our limits and beliefs, and how it becomes a better behavior and becomes great habit because of the choices we make. And I think the three speakers did an amazing job. They're telling from their lives, their experience and their stories, what they did and how they made breakthrough so we can come out and make a breakthrough. And so thank you so much. If our AS Muhammad Shukri is still here, if not, it was an amazing story how we connected his personal life to connecting dots and connected to our lives as well. And yes, Tammy, thank you so much for teaching us to soar high, especially in times like this. Instead of surviving, we need to learn to soar high, because that's the best way to go forward. And Kish, when we're meeting in person, we're gonna dance. When we're meeting in person, we're gonna dance, not just virtual. And I hope we are meeting it soon when things are over. And that's always been encouraging and inspiring. Okay, so thank you so much. And thank you so much, a good friend Ali. We have been online friends since last year. We haven't met yet. Hopefully one day we'll meet soon, but thank you so much for recognizing and learning to be a John Maxwell certified coach and trainer has inspired me to build leaders. And what you have done is something which I aspire to do as well. Back to you, a wonderful Toastmaster Farhan.
Thank you so much. Let's give him also a big round of applause. Thank you so much, PQD sir. I did see the presence of the CGD a little while earlier in the meeting, Chung Ming Chiao, but I think he's left the meeting. So thank you so much for being with us. Our district director, I understand from District 20 is addressing some other gatherings. So he's not going to be, we can't tear the man in two. So I think we'll let him be in peace over there. Our CGD is with us, but he's threatening to leave because he's also supposed to be addressing something, the same meeting there. So I will let him do the closing remarks first before we get to the vote of thanks, so that I can relieve you and so you can run along and get to the other meetings. Over to you, DTM Khalid, CGD of District 20.
It's okay, DTM Farhaz. I can pass for the time being because I'm already being called right now in another, that's a meeting of the DD. So I'll do the closing in a while. Yeah, over to you.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, okay. Sorry about that. In that case, okay, you can run along and then maybe come back a little while later. I'll hand over control now to the chairperson of this event, Toastmaster Ummi Saada Salahuddin. That's her full name. To propose the vote of thanks. So, over to you, ma'am.
Mr. Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters, all the most valued invited VIP senior officers, District 20, District 102, and ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. As the organizing chair and the co-organizing chair, DTM Farhaz being here, president, the entire bad fit team, that we call it a fraternity of Toastmasters here together. And on my own behalf, extend a very hearty word of thanks to all speakers for gracing your important work and sharing with us your motivational message today. And a big thank you to accredited speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Mohd Shukri for his efforts towards escaping the maze, a beautiful, inspiring story that touched our hearts. And I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to our accredited speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Tammy Miller, for giving a wonderful story of Just Soar. It was impactful. And we are grateful to have our Kishvin, the Division P Director, District 102, and our Charter President of Fusion Inspired, for demonstrating how to dance in the storm and taught us how to bounce back, face all the challenges, the hardship, and achieve breakthrough in our performance. And I want to state that we are almost very grateful to all the speakers on this stage. We are all inspired by your great words. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Rashmi Raghav for connecting us together, Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club and Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. I have learned so much from you, Rashmi, and also from the DTM in the organizing group, my beloved organizing chair, DTM Farhaz, DTM Khalid, and DTM Zahra, and all the role players for their enormous cooperation in the organizing of this event. And very grateful to have my VPPR Fardila at FIT and DTM Zahra from Bahrain for their support in designing the amazing posters and videos, promoting this event to social media and others. Without good public relations that both of you portray, this event might not achieve these numbers of audience. And we would also acknowledge our gratitude to both presidents for their support throughout the preparation of this event. I also wish to express my gratitude, knowing that I have gained a lot of knowledge and faced many challenges. But like DTM Srinivas said to me, if this doesn't challenge me, it doesn't change me. And I never know that I can do this. Mr. Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight, and the wheels has started rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for detail. We are lucky to have lined up team from Bahrain Advance and Fusion Toastmasters who know their job and very result oriented. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. And to all wonderful audience, fellow Toastmasters and guests from Malaysia, from Bahrain, Sri Lanka, from Singapore, Canada, that being here, supporting the club, learning together and get inspired and knowledge from our speakers. We thank you for being here this morning, afternoon, and evening. It's a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Terima kasih, syukran, sia-sia-ni, ji shukriya, nandri gracias. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Is she part of the United Nations or what, ladies and gentlemen? That's brilliant. But you forgot to say thank you in the language of Sri Lanka. I got you. You got one language right. You said Nandi, so I'm grateful for that.
I have prepared for it, but missed to put it.
Oh, we got to do the whole event again, and you got to say thank you. Thanks a lot. Now let's get to the closing remarks of the two presidents. Is DT Khalid, Mr. Omnipresent, is he here? Or let's start with President Khania Ali. Ma'am, you give your closing comments and then we could get back to Toastmaster Khalid.
Okay, thank you very much for Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster of the Evening, DTM Farhaz Farouk. Right, just give a Toastmaster of the Day, Evening a round of applause. Okay, I just love his smile and his energy. It's incredible. Let's also give a round of applause to all our incredible speakers for tonight, DTM Mohd Shukri, DTM Tammy Miller, and of course, Kishvin. There was so much valuable takeaway nuggets to take home tonight. And wow, I was just blown away. Such an inspiration. And definitely, DTM Tammy, my heart was touched by you too. All right, I'd like to a heartfelt gratitude as well to Bahrain Toastmasters Club for the collaboration, and a huge thank you to the organizing chair Umi Sada and all the organizing members, both from Bahrain Toastmasters Club and Fusion Inspired Toastmasters Club, including Rashmi, DTM Faraz, DTM Khalid, DTM Zara, Faradila, and all the role players for making this event a very successful one to remember. In fact, they just spent more than 2 months working really hard on planning this event. And I know many of them, especially our OC Umi, had sleepless nights, weeks, and days before the event because she would text me every night. So finally, thank you to all our senior officers, our fellow Toastmasters from Malaysia and abroad, and all the guests for taking the time to join us tonight. Thank you very much, and over to you, President TM Khalid Abdullah.
Thank you so much, Madam President, Fusion Inspired Toastmaster Club. Well, what to say? Too many hats. Toastmasters wear many hats, and this is what we are doing during such pandemic. The breakthrough is coming. Are you ready for it? I'm sure all of the speakers, all of the role players, all of the organizing team were here, and they made a breakthrough in front of our eyes. I repeat, the breakthrough is not just what we see, the breakthrough is what we feel. Have we got your breakthrough? Please go back and reflect. Thank you so much for all of those who came over here. Thank you so much for inspiring us, Fusion Inspired, and please keep on that, Fusion Inspired, whatever you are having within to inspire the world around. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I call this also meeting adjourned, and over to you, Mohd, for final word.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Let's give him a big round of applause. And no meeting is complete for me without parting words from the Ralph C. Smedley of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters in its current form. And that is the immediate, well, not immediate, a past president of the Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, Dr. Ralph C. Ali Shahbaz Ali. I would like to listen to you, a few words from you, please, before I completely stop, close the meeting. So over to you, sir. Just 2 minutes, please. Not more than that, because otherwise I'll not get this TMOD job again.
That's a surprise. You shocked me. Well, we all are learning, and it has been a pleasure. When this idea came up that let's have a joint meeting with Fusion in Malaysia, I was all for it since the beginning. And today I see the magic two clubs can do together when they come from 2 different cultures, 2 different countries. And I seriously enjoyed this. I have been a moderator after a very long time. Just like Nancy was asking that question, many young Toastmasters take up roles, regardless of the age. I'm not so old, I'm not so young as well, but happy to be here as your moderator. It was a good warm-up for me, and I really want to do it again and again. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Take this all messages seriously and apply it in your life. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, my little tenure as your TMOD is about to come to an end. I really enjoyed the last 3 hours spent with each and every one of you. I would like to invite everybody here to the next meeting of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, which will be next week on Saturday. It's at 4 p.m. Bahrain time, which unfortunately is 9 p.m. Malaysia time. But if you are up to it and you have had a good dinner and you would like to come and socialize with a set of friends in Bahrain, please make it a point and please visit us. It will be our immense honor and privilege to be your host. Please do. We will send the details over via our friends in Fusion Inspired. And also a message to my friends in Fusion Inspired. If ever you need any sort of assistance with your meetings, you know who to call. You have friends in Bahrain now. So please feel free, reach out to us. The same way, hey, it has to work both ways. if we need help for our meetings, we know who to call in Malaysia, so we will call you as well. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tolerating me for the last 3 hours. It has been an immense pleasure. I will now completely call this meeting closed. 8 minutes behind schedule is not too bad, I think. Thank you so much, and have a good time. We will probably keep the meeting open for a little while if you wish to socialize, but the meeting is closed. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Great day.
Okay, can we have a last group photo?
Yes, I was about to say this, but I thought it happened while I was not here.
Can we turn on our video and give your best smile? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page. 1, 2, 3. All right, great.
Lovely. Now we can just use this time to socialize. Anybody who wants to have a chit chat, please feel free. There was a gentleman named James who said this is the first Toastmasters event he has come to. Most welcome, sir. Toastmasters anywhere in the world, we are part of one big family. Just feel free to reach out to any of us, and we will be more than happy to take you through the steps of what Toastmasters is about. Feel free, please feel free to socialize, friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Tammy,
everyone.
Thank you. Bye, Tammy.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye, Tammy. Pleasant morning to you.
Thank you. Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend.
I look forward to seeing you all in person sometime. You know that?
Yes, Tammy. We will see you.
Yes,
And then we'll dance in the
Bye-bye
stall.
now.
yes, we'll come in stall.
Oh, virtual hug. Thank you. Thank you. That's right.
Now looks like Wakanda hug.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tammy. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Patricia. Thanks for
Hi,
being here.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for being around. Thank you.
Bye, Dimingzi.
Bye, bye.
Bye, M. Srinivasan.